Should all be functional now? Have you got it working? I think, anyway. I don't like the way that it's doing the black screen. Center it. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Alright. We should be rocking and rolling now. Hello, everybody. We are doing okay. We are here to play the Monster Club visual novel. That's right, for those of you who do not know or who are brand new, I wrote a book called The Monster Club, and a friend of mine who wishes to remain anonymous helped create a visual novel around it, around the cast and around the story. The game itself takes place after the story itself, takes place after the events of the main story. It is a side story written by myself, but she did all the art and the coding and made the game. And I just wrote the story, I wrote the script, and all of it is of my creation. Very quick question, have you ever seen Scary Godmother? In my opinion, it's bad. I have seen it, I think it's fine, but off-topic comments are very off-topic, I agree. Alright, so, without further delay, I think we've got as many people as we're going to get. We're going to go ahead and get started. Now, some of you may have said that, Raven, you've done this before, haven't you? Yes, but it was a long time ago, and since it is the spooky month and we are getting close to Halloween, I thought I'd do it again just for fun, especially since my PlayStation is still not in yet. Wait, so you know the ending of this game? Yeah, Peter, I helped make the game. I was the writer. I know how it ends because I wrote the damn game. Well, you'll read Monster Club after the game or the next stream? Nomad won the vote, so we're going to do Nomad next, but Monster Club will be read at some point, yes. Alright, let's do it. So it's pretty basic. My friend, this is her first visual novel that she ever made, and so you'll notice some typos or some errors in her work. Don't mind them. It's all good. Let's do it. I heard the voice. I sure didn't want to hear it right now. I rolled over trying to ignore it. Hey, congratulations, Archie. Glad that you're getting married, man. That's awesome. Breakfast is ready, you lazy bum. I'll just eat later. I remember writing Abraham as being very lazy at the beginning. I didn't want to have to do this, but you're asking for it. Everything felt really silent. Has she gone back downstairs? Was she finally going to leave me to sleep? I stayed still expecting a voice, a sound, but nothing could be heard. Absolutely nothing. I finally had to open my eyes to see if she was still there. Boo. I love the art of Sarah there. Sarah just looks so good. Like, the design of her here is so fantastic. Oh my gosh, the look on your face. Not funny, Sarah. Seriously. It's your own fault. You should have just gotten it when I told you to. So ready to eat some breakfast, lazy? Yeah, I'll see you downstairs. You better not go back to sleep again. Better get dressed then. My name is Abraham. A year ago, I stumbled upon this cabin in the middle of the mountains, and it was here I met the Monster Club. Ever since then, my life has never been quite the same. It's a lot to get used to when you're adopted into a family of literal monsters. Sometimes you have to be prepared to wake up to a frightening, if well-meaning, face. So there you are. And there's Michelle. As I entered the kitchen, I saw a young woman standing behind the counter, her gaze fixed on me with her piercing blue eyes and her short auburn hair like a halo around her head and neck. The background here is far more like a cottage or cabin, and I think that's because the artist who did it, either they didn't read to the end of would have been able to tell, but it's all good. Her name was Michelle. She was not only the resident werewolf of the club, she was also I could hear the scream from downstairs. Don't tell me Sarah had to do that to get you up this morning. Right, so I swear you're worse than Asher. I worked really hard on breakfast today, so the least you could do is be punctual by getting to eat. You've been late before too, you know. I'm a werewolf, Abraham. Certain nights aren't very restful for me, and I'm not too keen on getting up in a timely manner. Right, sorry, no offense. Come on, I'm starving. Yeah, one of the things I had to do with this story was I had to write it in a kind of juvenile way because I had to make sure that people who had never read the original book could keep up with the characters. For people who know the story, it's not that hard to figure out, but I had to actually, I had to actually explain the characters. Dude, you're worse attacked than me. This is Tamil, a mummy who was born nearly 5,000 years ago. Ranger just turned down the music then. Y'all, there's nothing I can do about it on y'all's end. The music has to be turned down from your end. What you do is you go to set, you'll have to turn down the music on your end. That's fine. Alright, well then, if the music is too loud, let me see what I can do. This up. All right, that should be better. That should be better. Right. All right. So we've met Tamil now. It happened when you stay up super late. What you doing last night? It was nothing. Are you two coming or what? Okay, so the first real picture. Michelle, Sarah, Tamil, and Abraham. I always thought that we might need to go with a different design for Abraham, like maybe make his hair a little shorter, like maybe give him more of a close-cut hairstyle, but that wasn't my decision. From Michelle's firm but fair leadership to Tamil's joking and laid-back personality, everyone here was my family and precious to me. I wouldn't trade them for anything or anyone. Where's Katie? I know Calypso and Asher are out on their honeymoon. You call that if you want to. Katie's in her shedding period and won't come out of her room for a few days till she's done. Don't worry, she'll be alright. This happens every month. Don't worry about it. I have a molting period very similar, but that's every year on my birthday. Yeah, but yours lasts a day at most. Katie's almost takes a week. Guys, too much information maybe? Everyone laughed, attention the morning all but gone. Oh yeah, cute stuff, cute stuff. What going? Oh, Annie, the cutie. I love Annie. I love her design. Actually, believe it or not, it was my friend Hannah who designed Annie. Hannah Hiring. She's the one who designed Annie. Oh, Annie, I'm sorry. Did we wake you? How come she can sleep in but I can't? Because you're a lot lazier than Annie. Besides, she's still young. Little kids need their sleep. I'm not buying it. Guys, enough fighting. Come on, Annie. We still have some eggs and grits left over. Sound good? Mm-hmm. She reached out and took my hand so I could lead her to the kitchen. Annie was a sweet girl, but I never understood why she clung to me like this. Ever since the club had found her a few months ago, she treated me like a big brother or protector. It made me feel awkward sometimes, but I never pushed her away. I didn't know how to. And for that matter, I didn't really want to. Her cute little smile was enough to ruin any argument or grievance I might have. I just politely led her to the kitchen for her to get something to eat. Love the cuteness there. Love the cuteness there. Oh, I almost forgot, Abraham. I need to ask you something privately. I followed Sarah to the den, staying careful not to stumble over her long, spiny spider legs. When we were far enough into the den to be away from the others, she finally spoke again. Abraham, Michelle won't admit it to you or anyone else, but we're in a bit of a tight spot right now. Financially, we're tanking. I couldn't hide my surprise from her. Truth was that our club had always remained financially steady thanks to our former host Solomon, who had kept a rather substantial amount of money stored away in an old bank account. As his grandson, I had access to it, but I'd spent a great deal of it trying to repair and rebuild the clubhouse. I hadn't even thought about money problems, Sarah. None of us had. I think it might be imperative that some of us try to get odd jobs or something to help maintain the club. That might be difficult for you and Katie, though, considering how you... Oh, don't worry, I'm not planning on going out to find a job, but maybe there are other ways I can help. I just wanted you to know. After all, if we want to keep this club alive, we need some kind of income. Seriously, I'm somehow relieved just telling me this news, almost as if just the burden itself and now being shared with someone else made her more relaxed. I, however, was more than a little concerned. I didn't know the first thing about holding a job. What was I even good at? I'll definitely give it some thought. That's all you need to do right now, but please don't tell Michelle I talked to you about this, okay? I think she wants to avoid worrying everyone. Then how did you find out about it? I overheard her muttering about it last night while I was spinning a new set of sheets for my bed. Our rooms are right next to each other. Sarah seemed to keep glancing back in the direction of the kitchen where Michelle was forcing Tamil to keep from stealing more eggs than the others. It was still a miracle that Tamil could actually find the eggs despite being blind. Some things are just a mystery to me still. And one thing I knew more than anything else was when a cloud was looming overhead. The expression on Sarah's face. She knew these happy, gleeful moments were fleeting. Just when you can, why don't you talk to some of the others about options for getting jobs or money? It'll help if Asher came back. He could probably help us out with this. He's got a lot of real-world experience. Not with jobs he doesn't. Abraham? Oh, Annie's back. Yes! Love Annie. Love Annie. Are you coming back to eat yet? Yeah, we're coming. Thanks for talking with me, Abraham. I really appreciate you listening. Anytime, and I promise to think on this. Yeah, this takes place after the book, Ranger, and thank you for getting revenge for me, Samuel. Appreciate it. Uncertainty still gripped my thoughts as I returned to the kitchen with the others. I tried to put it aside, though. What job could I get? How do I even keep a job? The club was separated right now with Asher and Calypso far away, Tori on a trip, and Katie in isolation while she sheds. This was an issue we all needed to be together to discuss. So until then, I just smile and proceed as usual. It was all I could think to do at this point in time. All right, Cedar Samuel. Uh-oh. The sound of the door knocking stopped all of our talking and eating and led to complete silence. Visitors were not something we got frequently here. In fact, anyone who didn't just walk in freely was usually someone we didn't know and didn't want hanging around. We all glanced back and forth to each other a few times before Michelle coughed and stood up. I'll go see who's at the door. Sarah and Abraham, stay out of sight and be prepared to move if necessary. Annie, I need you to hide here for now at Tamil. Everyone moved to their positions instantly like trained soldiers. Sarah was already climbing up the wall to the ceiling to prepare herself for an ambush. Tamil took Annie's hand and they led each other deeper into the kitchen to stay hidden. I followed Michelle to the door but stayed hidden by the side of the doorway, ready for whoever walked in. At last Michelle glanced at me with a nod and opened the door. Ah! And then... Jelly. God, Jelly. What a great design. What a great design. Ugh. Again, huge thanks to my friends for the design here. Jelly's here. Jelly? What are you doing here? The massive purple goop that shot through the door was none other than a living ball of slime that affectionately referred to itself as Jelly. She was a distant friend of the Monster Club from a hidden farm far away. I'd met her before along with the other monsters that lived there. However, I never expected to see her here so soon, and alone to boot. Jelly's eyes fell on me and her smile widened. Jelly looking for Abraham. Me? Jelly turned to face me and she straightened herself up to try and look proper and important. It was almost cute. What on earth is going on here? Michelle, you remember Jelly, right? From the farm? I remember her, but what is she doing here? Michelle, relax. After all, it could have been worse. If she's just here to see Abraham, then let's just let her visit. I glanced between the two and urged a reprimand them building. It seemed wrong that they would openly talk about Jelly with her standing right in front of them, but then it dawned on me that Jelly wouldn't be offended either way. Jelly was, in many ways, clueless to the tact and respectful behavior. In fact, her lack of maturity and experience in social situations made her one of the hardest people to communicate with. Jelly, why were you looking for me?
Christina sent Jelly to warn Abraham Club.
To warn Abraham's club? She means all of us.
Yes, that what Jelly mean.
Warn us about what?
Christina and Alex see monster fly away over farm. It one from big scary place.
Big scary place? Probably the Dawnbringer HQ. Remember all the prisoners we saw there? That's a big scary place if I've ever seen one. Oh yeah, shit. None of us could forget. Those images still haunted me. Lines and lines of cells and cages where monsters and Midians were locked away like animals in a zoo, tested on and tortured to the point of near death, if they were lucky. It was there after Michelle had been taken, where they'd been pushed to the brink of death before we'd saved them. And it was Jelly, and if what Jelly was saying was correct, one of those escapees was loose.
Yes, that is right. The poor thing. They must be really lost and afraid right now. Michelle, we should probably see if we can help it.
I refuse to put the well-being of the club in jeopardy again. Not after all we went through. Despite her firm statement, there was a tremble in her voice. She too wanted to act, but her eyes kept going back to me. Back to the kitchen where Tamil and Annie were hiding. I could tell it was really bothering her. Maybe we could wait for Asher to get back. He could go with us.
It might be too late by then. He and Calypso aren't due back for another 2 days, and we don't know where the creature is. Plus, if it can fly, it already has a distance advantage. Christina say it fly to National Park.
Well, that narrows down where to search. But still, I'm not too keen on running after wild geese.
If not a goose, it is bigger, much bigger.
It's a figure of speech, you silly blob.
Ha, you never seen goose before.
I got a distinct feeling Michelle wasn't overly fond of Jelly's childishness. I tried to stifle my chuckle at Michelle's obvious frustration.
Jelly, do you think you could give us a moment? Okay, I go play with Tamil.
Yeah, I wrote Jelly and Tamil as being pretty close. With Jelly gone, Sarah approached Michelle and myself and spoke in a low and somber tone.
Michelle, you know we can't turn our back on this. It's what we founded the club for. I know that, but there's a lot more to be concerned with now. Back before Solomon left us in the fiasco with the Dawnbringers, I think this would be manageable. But now I don't know.
I felt a twinge of guilt as Michelle spoke. Was she talking about her financial burdens too? I wanted to alleviate the burden somehow, or perhaps even offer an assistance if I could. Plus, the curiosity to see this new monster was more than I could bear. Michelle, if there's anything I can do to help out, just say so.
That's sweet, Abraham. But frankly, the real question right now is, do we go after the monster or leave it to fate? Michelle, you know the answer to that. Even if we didn't want to try and recruit this rogue, we can't leave them out on their own where a passing human might see them and alert a monster hunter.
With that final word of logic, Michelle gave a long sigh and looked out the window behind her, as if expecting to see some answer in the clouds.
Seems there's no other choice then. Does that mean...
All right, we're going after it.
Should I go wake up Katie and have her pack? I'd really rather her not come along, at least not yet. With her shedding, she'd be miserable the whole trip. Plus, she needs her rest. But I'd like at least one person to stay behind and keep an eye on her. Not sure how good he is at keeping his eyes on anything, but Tamil could do the job. Leaving a blind kid and a Lamia alone together in the same house? Isn't that kind of asking for trouble to happen?
Point taken. Is there a way to get in contact with Asher, ask him to come home early?
I think he took his cell phone with him. I'll go give him a call, see if he can't double time it back to the house. Or better yet, if Calypso could come back and he meet us at the park. What can I do?
Pack our bags. We need clothes and provisions for a trip, probably a long one. She glanced at me for a moment, and then I saw the faintest smile, a sweet and comforting warmth, a look given between a dog and a master that evoked trust. Yes, you're coming along too, Abraham. I suggest you pack a bag too.
Can I come?
There's Annie! Look at Annie. I love her. Annie, go back to the kitchen.
I heard what you were talking about. I want to know if I can come too. Kiddo, it's a pretty dangerous trip. I'm just not sure you're up for it.
The look on Annie's face was one of defeat. I felt for her, but I couldn't help but agree with Michelle. Annie was so young and so timid. I feared that she would find herself in trouble if she came with us. That said, I hated seeing her look so miserable.
I think she can come. Huh? Michelle, Annie's a member of the club like any of us. She's been with us for a while now and deserves a chance to prove she can go on jobs with us. Sarah, she is a child, though. And if she is, you're a human, but you manage just fine. I see no reason why she can't go on a trip with us. Besides, if Asher meets up with us at the park, then he's more than enough to protect her, right? Leave it to Sarah to be the mature voice of reason when all other voices were antagonistic. Michelle growled and shook her head. All right. But only if Asher agrees to meet us there. Now go pack a bag, Sarah. Abraham, go let Katie know where we're going and that Tamil will be here if she needs anything. I'm going to go call up Asher. Will do, boss. Well then, with that drama done with, I'm going to go start packing. We're going on an adventure? Oh, God, Annie. Certainly seems that way. I can't wait. It's been a long time, yes? Sure has. And knelt down to rub her head and she giggled happily. Thank you for letting me come. Only if Asher comes, but I think you should go help Sarah pack just in case. And there I stood alone in the front hallway. I closed the door that Jelly had thrown open with her assault on the house and heard Sarah rooting around upstairs. I could also hear the faint sound of Michelle on the phone with Asher or Calypso. I thought about what Annie said and smiled to myself. It had been a while since a real adventure, and it would be one of the first ones she got to join us on. I was worried for her, worried for the club, worried about anything and everything, perhaps needlessly. Katie always was calling me a worrywart after all, and I couldn't help but feel like she was right. And then it suddenly hit me. Oh gosh, I gotta go talk to Katie. Talk to me about what? Ah, Katie. What a good design. Her long hair blanketed her neck and shoulders, and her large golden eyes flashed in the morning sun through the window. Her long green tail trailed from halfway up the stairs all the way to the hallway. I could tell she'd been sleeping from her expression of fatigue, and her scales looked a bit faded, like they were old and ready to come off. What are you doing out of bed? How could anyone sleep with all this racket going on down here? Sorry about that. Jelly showed up and... Jelly? The slime from the farm? Why'd she... Oh gosh, don't tell me she wants to join our club now. Not that she's not cute and all, but we really can't afford any more mouths right now. You know about the money problems? Who doesn't? I started to wonder if Michelle had done a good enough job of keeping this a secret to herself, and if Sarah and Katie knew about it. No, well, actually, the farm group saw a monster we encountered back at the Dawnbringer HQ. Michelle is leading us to go after it. Oh, we're going without Asher? Asher will meet us there, but Michelle wants you to stay here since you're still shedding. That freaking Michelle? She's worried you'll be miserable and that you'll need your rest. Oh, I was unaware she could predict the future. I'm not miserable. I now understood why Michelle didn't want her with us for the trip. I wrote that so poorly. I could have done that better. I could have done that a lot better. Was Katie always this moody when she was shedding? Tamil will be here to give you company, and Calypso will be coming back too. Ugh, fine. She started to turn to slither back to her room. But then she stopped and glanced back at me once more. Wait, what are you doing? You're going with them too? Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea at all. You're not ready for this kind of thing. You think so? But Michelle thinks I'm ready. Well, maybe, but you just be careful. I've got Michelle and Sarah with me. I'll be okay. My words of encouragement did not seem to relieve her. I know why they want you to go, but I would rather have Asher with you the whole time just to be safe. Why do you want me along? Why do they want me along, pray tell? A soft blush ran across her face. Because you have a big heart. You always have. I stood stunned a moment by the big smile on her face. It felt out of nowhere considering how very negative and cold she'd been a second ago. And to compliment me like that, it made my heart flutter. Well, anyway, I'm heading back to bed, but wake me before you leave so I can say bye. Why do I feel really guilty all of a sudden? Tamil, you and Jelly better not be in the fridge again. Run, Jelly! And grab more soda. Ah, jeez. Better go stop Michelle from murdering the both of them. Had to do a transition. That was when I was writing that. I had to do a transition. It took 10 minutes just to get Tamil and Jelly back under control, another 5 minutes to calm Michelle down. Within an hour, bags were packed, and we were about ready to begin our hike out towards the national park. Michelle gathered us all to the den before heading out. Katie, though, not willing to come down, did come to the balcony to say her farewells. All right, folks, we know the plan. Katie and Tamil will stay here and wait for Calypso to come back. According to Asher, she'll be back sometime tomorrow morning. Asher will meet the rest of us at the park itself. What if there is problem? Katie's still weak from shedding. Katie's not helpless, Tamil. You're just here to keep her company more than anything. I can look after myself, you know. I don't doubt that, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Look, it's not a problem. I can come along to keep everyone safe. Sure, if not try and get time alone with Abraham. It's a shame Tamil couldn't see because the fierce blush that ran across Katie's face would have been well worth the hiss she spat at him. Oh, shut up! Guess I'm right. Cut it out. Katie, you need to stay here, please. It's for your own good as well as ours. With your scale shedding, being out in the elements could risk infection or skin disease for you. Plus, if you're not feeling 100%, then your senses will be dull and useless to us while searching for our target. Fine, just... Katie clearly looked a bit disappointed, but finally conceded. Please be careful. All of you. We will be. Thanks, Abraham.
Yeah, so you're probably wondering if I made any relationships official with Abraham in this. I did not. I really didn't. And if you're wondering who my canon choice is for him to be with, I really didn't have a choice. I mean, of course, the options are obviously Sarah, Michelle, and Katie. I was leaning on Katie for a long time because I thought that it would fit very well, but honestly, Michelle fits really well too. So I don't know. What we plan to do actually is I had thought about doing a sequel to this where it was more of a dating sim and you could kind of pick who you got into a relationship with, but that never panned out.
I hate to leave you all alone, but no worry, Michelle. I'd be okay. Thank you, Tamil. Sarah, you have the bags, right? Abraham, you keep an eye on Annie, all right? What Jelly can do? Michelle looked at Jelly with surprise. You? I figured you were going to go home. Jelly thought she could come too. Jelly wants to help. No way, kid. I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? Because I can't trust you. You're brash, immature, and foolhardy. We're not on a picnic here. We're searching for a rogue monster that could possibly be dangerous. Unless you can carry your own weight, I can't let you come. Jelly carry weight just fine.
Michelle, I don't think it would hurt to have her along. I know Jelly, and, well, she might be childish, but she's responsible.
I agree. An extra pair of hands might be useful.
Michelle glanced at Sarah and me for a moment. She gave a low growl like an angry dog and then turned to Jelly, raising an eyebrow. Again, I felt a sort of aggressive resentment. Was it because Jelly was childish? After all, Tamil was just as goofy at times. It was more like she was playing a guard dog, protecting the club from the newcomer. But what could she decide?
I can't believe this. Fine, just don't slow us down. Jelly won't. All right, let's roll out, team. You heard her, folks. Best get going. Abraham, does Michelle not like Jelly?
I gave an apologetic smile to Jelly and rubbed her head, feeling the cool liquid that passes her hair. It's not that she doesn't like you, Jelly. Michelle just is a worrier. She just doesn't want anything bad to happen. I'm sure she'll warm up to you.
Think so? Yeah, of course. Thank you. That makes Jelly happy.
I love Jelly. She's great. Is this being played on a computer, not on a PlayStation? Yeah, this is a computer game. I'm not... Me and my friend are not capable of making PlayStation games. We made a computer game. Alright, finally we're on our way to save a lost monster, and that moves us into Act 2. Yay, Act 2, yay. We hiked well into the morning, only stopping every now and then to use the bathroom behind a tree or to eat a snack. Michelle led the group from the front, with Sarah bringing up the rear. I stayed near the middle with Annie holding my hand and Jelly having to stay near Sarah so that she didn't go off in another direction. The forest and mountains seemed to fascinate both her and Annie to the point that she'd giggle at the sight of falling leaves or rabbits running along the path. Truly, it was like a totally different world, shaded by the branches of trees towering high over our heads. The mountain ranges twisted and turned wildly, and the soft roar of water flowing through the passes increased between the mountains provided an ambient song. I didn't speak much just so I could take in the beauty. Abraham, you've been really quiet. Sorry, Annie, what's wrong? What are you thinking about?
I wasn't really thinking about anything. Just appreciating this time outside.
Actually, I'll take a brief break here and I'll show you something kind of cool. Let me... I can show you kind of what I was thinking when I was designing, like, and thinking out like the atmosphere. So let me see. Here we go. This is a good one right here. So like images like this, like I used to hike the mountains of South Carolina a lot. Like there's this really great spot I'll show you here. This really great spot right about. Let's see if I can zoom in on the image. Really. Let's try this. So there's this great spot up here just above Greenville, under the Sassafras Mountains, right about here, that I grew up in. I grew up in this area right here where my mouse is spinning around. And that area was kind of where I spent a lot of time. And so because of that, I got to know the backgrounds of this area and the just kind of region and just fell in love with it. And I use that as a major aspect. So if I can find an image of Camp McCall Mountain. Okay, yeah, so Camp McCall. This is a view from Camp McCall. This is on Chapel Hill. And all these mountains right here is kind of where I grew up. All of this right here. This is kind of what I grew up in. All these mountainous wooded areas. This is kind of where I live. This is kind of where I grew up. And when you see like rivers running like this kind of smooth, mossy rock and all this is kind of what I was seeing and thinking when I was designing the idea and outlook of what they were walking around in. But yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of what I was looking at, what I was seeing. So I used part of my childhood from... Yeah, my childhood growing up area was very much what I kind of pictured. Like if you look at this image, you can see this is where you would sit on Chapel Hill and look out at the mountains, at the Misty Mountains here. Very beautiful, very beautiful. And that's the chapel itself. That is Satterwhite Chapel, named after Cliff Satterwhite, one of the founders of the camp, and a very close friend of mine. He and I are actually close friends. We go to the same church. He and I have been friends for a very, very long time, since I was a child. This chapel was named after him. Great guy, great guy. Maybe we can get a picture of him. Let me see. Let me find a picture of old Satterwhite. He retired some years ago, so he might not be in any recent images. But if I could find him, yeah. Maybe I can't find him. That would stink, but it's what it is. It's what it is. Oh, this is the inside of the chapel in case you wanted to see it. This is what it looks like on the inside. Beautiful place. Definitely my childhood home. Oh, that's a great image of Lake Chilliwater right there. It's a great lake. We call it Lake Chilliwater because of how cold it was. Oh yeah, I'm a mountain boy. I grew up in the mountains. I love the mountains, man. Oh, this might have him. This was 2021. He should be in this one. See if I can't get to the page here. I can't get on. Oh well. It was worth a shot. All right, back to it. I just thought I'd share that. Now let's pull this up. There we go. Better.
I love it here. It's like a beautiful painting.
Ironic because it is a painted picture.
You two better move quicker or you'll fall behind.
Does it have gators? I've never seen a gator in those mountains. We've seen bears, we've seen bobcats, we've seen coyotes. Never seen a gator in those mountains. We went at the pace to ensure that we didn't bump into Sarah. She just gave a soft giggle and I smiled back at her. Michelle, while smiling too, had a soft, tense aura to her step, like she was hustling all along. I love the shade difference. I love how she adjusted the shading there.
Abraham, would you mind doing me a favor?
What's that?
It'll be getting late soon, and I'd rather not have all of us hiking in the woods at night, especially when we don't know if the monster we're searching for is nocturnal. I want you to take Jelly and go search for a clean source of water so that we have something to drink tonight. There are plenty of streams nearby. Yay, adventure! Don't shout, you don't know what might be listening. Sorry, Jelly's just so excited. What if we get lost? Sarah? Come here, Abraham. I approached and Sarah took my hand gently. She raised her rear legs and began pulling thread from her abdomen. The long, silky strand gathered, and she pulled them up to herself. She then began tying the thread around my wrist. I'll keep unreeling thread as far as necessary for you. If you get lost or don't know where to go, just follow the thread back. When you reach water, just tug hard and we'll follow the thread to you. Won't you run out eventually? Aw, don't worry. I can keep the thread going for about 3 kilometers. But I would try not to go that far. Your job is to find a source of clean water. Better yet, if you can find it near a clearing, that'd be a great place to make camp. The rest of us will stay here and wait. That way we don't go too far apart. I don't understand. Why can't you all come with me? It's better some of us stay on the given path while you search for water. That way we're not wandering around lost altogether. Trust me, we've done this sort of thing before. In fact, I've done it for most of my young life. I suddenly saw a flash of emotion across Michelle's face when she said that last part. Yeah, a little hint at Michelle's past there. All right, enough dawdling. Move it, you two. Right, let's go, Jelly. Yes! And with that, Jelly began sprinting off the path and into the woods, forcing me to run after her, struggling to keep pace with the anxious gooball. Oh, this is a great image. Actually, I'll give you a little hint. If you take a look carefully at the image and you look beyond the painted trees, you can see a real forest stock photo behind it acting as a backdrop. That was very clever. That was a very clever idea. It feels like we've walked hours. It'd only been 3 hours. And it's already getting dark. I hope Michelle and the others aren't worried. But you're right. This is a good creek clearing. In fact, I think we could camp here. Jelly instantly began kneeling by the water to drink. I, in turn, began tugging on the thread around my wrist to let Sarah know they could come down. I looked down at the water nervously, seeing small crawfish and frogs bouncing in and out of the water. Is it safe to drink? You're thirsty? Yeah, I sure am. But I don't think I can drink water like that. Jelly smiled up at me and knelt down again. She dipped her hand in the water, and I watched as her purple liquid arm swelled up as water filled it. She pulled her hand out and began breathing slowly. Swelling in her arm began flowing around her body like blood through a vein, or electricity through a circuit. I watched in awe until finally she leaned forward, she grabbed my hands and cupped them together and spat the water gently like a faucet in my waiting hands. All done. What did you just do? Jelly make water clean again. You did? But how? Jelly can, Pen say it best. Pen was the name of a young fairy that lived with Jelly. He was incredibly intelligent and often tried to teach Jelly basic academics, though it was a losing battle more often than not. Jelly cleared her throat and tried to speak like Pen using his thick British accent. Jelly has a consistency thick enough that allows her to catch and retain debris of any substance she ingests or wraps herself around. Thus, anything filthy or contaminated, when passed through her body long enough, will be purified to its cleanest state. Jelly, that's incredible! Unable to hold the water in my hands any longer, I finally drank. Sure enough, the water was delicious and tasted as cool and pure as any I'd ever had. Jelly did good? Yeah, I'm glad we brought you. Jelly had a little squeal of happiness and beamed brighter. Yay! Gosh, she's adorable. Love the design. I sat down next to the creek at bend and watched as Jelly repeated her process of draining water, purifying, and then pouring it into my waiting hands. As she continued this, I watched the water and the bushes. The long-lost sun had given way to night, and the fireflies had come out to dance as small, blinking lights began drifting in the air. Ah, the fireflies. This is probably my favorite image. Like, it's so pretty. It was like something from a fairy tale. Pretty! The fireflies? Haven't you ever seen fireflies? No. Are they like fairies? Like Pen? No. They're bugs that glow at night. Why they glow like that? You could ask Pen when you get home. He might know. Pen know everything. He'd tell me. You can try and catch them if you want. Catch? Kids like catching fireflies. Just try to grab them with your hand without hurting it, and it'll light up in your hands. Jelly hearted leaded more incentive than the permission to act. She was already running around the creek, jumping up and down, using her hands wildly to try and snatch a firefly out of the air.
Just don't go too far. I watched Ellie play with the fireflies. When she finally caught one of the little bugs, she opened her hands, and the instant began flashing its glowing thorax at her, causing her to giggle and let it go again so that she could catch it. How could anyone be so innocent? The process continued for quite a while. Good job, you two. I'd been so fixed on Jelly that I hadn't even heard Michelle and the others coming. I turned to see them approach and smiled. This spot should work, right? Definitely. We'll set up camp here for the night. Sarah, would you do the honors? Leave it to me. Sarah scurried off to go begin setting up a silk webbing perimeter around the clearing and began spinning web-like tents. However, I didn't have time to watch her work. Michelle was already grabbing my arm and pulling me along. We'll need fire to cook and stay warm. Annie can supply the fire, but we need wood. Would you mind coming with me to get some firewood? Oh, sure, but what if we get lost? Ha! Never underestimate my sense of smell. What about Jelly and Annie? Michelle looked towards the creek where Annie was already busy trying to catch fireflies with Jelly. Let the kids have their fun. Aw. Yeah, I gotta let the kids have fun once in a while. We walked away from the group a good several meters out into the woods, and Michelle stopped every so often to pull up dried wood and leaves. She at one point ripped limbs off trees to use. Her strength was rather frightening. Michelle? Yeah? You sure you need my help? You look strong enough to get all the wood yourself. Aw, look who's a big sweetheart. Actually, I need help carrying it all back to camp. Oh, that makes sense. That, and also with all that's happened, I feel like we haven't had a chance to just relax. And you're someone I can trust enough to sort of talk to, you know? You don't trust the others? It's not that. I do trust them. All of them. But there are just some people I can talk to like I do Asher and you. Asher's seen me at my absolute worst. He knows my darker side. He's confronted it and still cares about me despite it. That's more than I can say for a lot of other people who found out. And me? I don't really know. I guess you impress me. Most humans would freak out at the thought of being near a werewolf. You were nearly killed by me. Twice. But you still really care about me. I'm not sure if I said it before, but you remind me a lot of my father. She had mentioned it before. Long ago, back when we'd been on the run and living in an abandoned tire distribution building, she told me that as she had nodded off to sleep, this might have been the only chance I'd be able to push the issue, so I had to dare it. How so? My dad, he was a really good man. When I was a child and the folks in town found out that I was a werewolf, they formed a mob to come after me. My dad saved my life that night. He saved you? How? He told me to run away, so I ran. But when I went back to the house the next day, he was gone. Nothing but a mess inside and police tape everywhere. It's not something I like talking about. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean... It's fine, Abraham. Like I said, I feel like I can talk to you about these things. It happened so long ago, it's like a distant memory to me. And besides, the club is my family now. That said, sometimes I can't help but wonder if he's still alive out there. We could try looking for him someday. You're such a good person, Abraham. Thanks for the encouragement. But really, it's fine. We have enough things to worry about without adding on to the club's woes. Before I could press any further, Michelle picked up her wood and turned back towards the path we'd walked. Come on, let's get back to the others. Don't want Annie and Jelly to eat everything, do we? And Abraham, thanks for listening to me. Right, sure thing. I followed her back to the camp, feeling a deep pit in my stomach, wondering more about the demons that Michelle was battling on top of everything else. But that pit was slowly filled as I thought about what she said. She trusts me and thinks I'm good to talk to. It made me happy to know deep in my gut. Uh-oh, we got the rustle. I nearly jumped at the sound and Michelle was already on alert. Come out! Settle down, Michelle. It's just me. Asher. Jesus. Sorry if I startled you or something. I figured you could smell me coming. You jerk! I thought you were a wolf or something. A wolf? Wouldn't you be able to communicate with it? Watch it, bloodsucker. Wow, you're grumpy this evening. His name was Asher, the strongest member of the club, and also a vampire. Everything you've heard about vampires is likely true. Transforming into bats, melding with shadow, drinking blood. Asher's capable of all of it. In every respect, he was the one club member that I should have feared the most. And to be fair, there were times I felt incredibly uneasy around him. But right now, I felt very glad to see him. Hey, Abraham. Got quite a lot of sticks there. Building a fire? Yeah. Here, let me lighten some of the load.
Asher, how did he find us so quickly? And where's Calypso?
I dropped off Calypso outside the clubhouse about an hour ago. I then turned into a swarm of bats and scattered to find everyone. Once I found you, I flew nearby and decided it best I not straight up materialize in front of the whole gang.
Well, that aside, I'm glad you're here, and I'll rest better knowing Calypso can keep an eye on Tamil and Katie.
They'll be fine. Don't worry about yourself so much. But now I need to know, what is this creature that you told me about on the phone? You just said Jelly showed up at the house with information about a monster or something. What are we looking for?
Jelly didn't know either. Kind of feels like we're wandering in the dark here.
With all of us together, you'd think that it would stir something out of hiding, right? In certain circumstances, that's true. But without knowing what we're after, who knows if we'd even recognize what we're looking for when it made its move. I hadn't considered that. I guess that's a good point.
That's enough standing around, boys. Back to camp.
You heard the lady. Let's get going. Oh, Asher, what a character. We hurried back to the camp after that with my eyes skimming the whole forest when he sounded something out of the ordinary.
Asher, is that you? How was your vacation with Calypso?
Could have been longer, I guess. Honestly, something always gets in the way.
Hi, Asher.
Hey, kid, you doing all right?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know you'd be arriving so soon. I better start making a tent for you, too.
I love the tent designs. These designs are really good. Like, we were trying to think of, like, a good design for, like, what a web tent would look like, and this is great. This is great. One was rather large and circular for herself. The other was enough to fit 3 people, and the last was a singular tent.
Who's sleeping where? Well, I built myself a special nest that's meant for my body, but that big one there is for the girls to sleep in, namely Michelle, Jelly, and Annie.
Then I get a single tent? Why do I have to sleep by myself? Abraham asked.
Because you're a boy still. You can't sleep in the same tent as the girls. I don't mind staying with you if you're lonely. Nonsense. I'm going to go rebuild it so you and Asher can share the tent.
Me and Asher? Yeah, just you and me, buddy. Don't worry, I won't bite. Everyone else laughed at the joke. I, for one, couldn't help but mentally picture Asher wanting a midnight snack and shivered. Dude, don't say stuff like that. I'm joking, bro. Don't worry. Besides, I probably won't be going to bed anytime soon. I'll be taking the night watch.
Night watch?
Sarah and I are more nocturnal than the rest of you, so we take turns staying up and guarding the camp. Sarah, have you already set up your tripwires?
I'll get on it in a moment. Working on the tent over here.
Good shift.
Annie held my hand and walked up next to me, smiling. Her hand felt sticky, and I opened to take a look and saw a little bit of smudges of firefly in it.
Guess you caught a few fireflies?
Yeah, but one got squished.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I didn't mean to.
It's okay. Just go wash your hands. Wait, where's Jelly?
Jelly? She was right behind me.
Uh-oh. We're missing our ball of goo. Annie and I both looked but saw no one. Annie, go wash your hands and then help Sarah.
But...
Just do it. I'll be back in a sec. Guys, we got a problem. Jelly's missing. Jelly? She's here too? I thought she just came to tell you the news about the rogue.
That brainless glob of goo. I told her not to give us trouble.
Calm down, Michelle. I'm sure she got excited about the fireflies. We can't leave her out on her own in the middle of the forest. There's no telling what might happen. But it's also nightfall. We can't risk getting lost ourselves.
Want me to go look for her using Sarah's thread? Absolutely not. I need you here where it's safe.
Geez, you weren't this protective when you sent me and Jelly looking for a campsite.
It was daylight then, and we weren't near a river that attracts wild animals. No, I'm afraid it'll be easier either Asher or myself that goes after the purple menace.
Better let me do it. I could find her faster with my bat network.
Good. I'll trust you to get her back, Asher.
Asher turned from us and ran off into the woods, his body suddenly exploding into a swarm of screeching, squeaking bats, flapping off in various directions.
How troublesome. So what now? Nothing we can do about it, but wait. Would you mind helping Sarah with the tripwires for a while? I'll keep an eye on Annie.
All right. Yeah, Jelly's gone missing.
Ready to head out?
Yeah, let's get going. What can I do?
I heard everything, and I'm happy for the help. Ready to head out now?
All right, lead the way. I think I made a mistake in the script there. I think I did I accidentally added a double response. Because what I meant to do was have her ask whether she was ready to head out only once. So I think that was my fault there. Every now and then she'd stop and ensure that the thread was all tied back to other threads in a strange network that I couldn't begin to follow. I could barely see the threads at times, but in truth my attention was divided. Something was eating at the back of my mind. Everything okay, Abraham? Sorry, what? I gave you some new thread to hook up and you haven't taken it yet. Where is it? I can't see it with it this dark out. It's right next to your foot. But that's not what's really going on, is it? Tell me what's on your mind. Do you think something bad happened to Jelly? She's just a kid after all. Aw, don't worry, Abraham. Jelly's a slime. Her body can't be destroyed by physical means. If anything, I'm more worried about the group without Asher. I just hope he finds her soon and comes back. I'd feel better with him nearby. Right. Something's still bothering you. Talk to me, Abraham. It's not really a problem, I guess, but I've been thinking about this a while. Say we find this creature that we're looking for. What do we do with them? We'll try to help them find their place in the world. They can come with us if they like, or maybe Jelly could take them back to the farm. And if they're too dangerous? Aren't there some monsters that aren't intelligent? Well, yes, and if that's the case, Asher's more than a match for anything in these woods. Vampires are the apex predators of the monster world. He was. There was no question that Asher was powerful. I'd seen Asher in his blood rage states where Asher let his thirst overtake him and became a relentless killing machine. He'd overpowered Michelle twice and then managed to take down almost an entire monster on her team by himself. But even Asher didn't seem pleased about hunting something he didn't know anything about. Was it possible there was something out there more dangerous than Asher? Still, they can't be the only ones, right? Look, Abraham, there's really... Help! Annie got nabbed. Annie? Sarah and I wasted no time and hurried back towards the camp as fast as we could. I heard the sound of another scream and then a furious thrashing and growling. Sarah and I broke through the foliage to see what was wrong, and there I saw it. Oh, good design. God dang, I love the look. I love the look, baby. That is such a good look. And we just appreciate how spectacular this is. Like, that is so haunting, but I love it. She was menacing looking. Long and wild red hair like a mane fell down her body. Horns like a demon protruded from her head, and a long reptile-like tail slid out from the base of her spine. Her arms were merely massive red wings, and her feet were the long, powerful talons of a deadly beast. Her eyes, though, a chilling emerald with slits within them like a serpent. Annie was hiding behind the tent nearby, and Michelle, who had apparently tied to attack the creature, was on the ground clutching her bleeding arm for where the demon had struck her. "How dare you!" Sarah cried. "Get back, all of you!" I saw Jelly fly out from the bushes and throw her whole body at the creature. Jelly tried to use her form to smother it, but with little effort the demon threw the poor girl off and her body splattered on the ground like an exploding paintball round. Yeah, that's a good transition to Jelly being splattered. Asher followed after with a vicious snarl, attacking the demon. With a shriek of fear, the monster jumped into the sky and flew away into the night. It was over. Sound off! Everyone okay? I'm okay. Michelle? Jelly? You girls got hit. Are you alright? I watched as Michelle sat up and rubbed her arm in pain. Jelly, on the other hand, merely morphed into her bodily form, completely unharmed, as if nothing had happened. I'll live. But damn it all, I wasn't expecting that. It was so strong. You girls get some medical supplies. I'll go check on Annie. Oh, no. Are you two okay? Just my pride is hurt, Sarah. Jelly's okay. What was that thing? The three paused and glanced at me a moment until Michelle finally cleared her throat and spoke up. It looked like a dragonute or wyvern of some kind. What the heck is that? They're supposedly descendants of actual dragons from ancient times. The perfect merging of human and dragon biology, but I always thought they were a myth, or at least that they died out. She might be artificial. A Dawnbringer experiment. The creation of the first of her kind. You mean she could be a brand new species? I'm not leaving any possibilities out at this point. At the very least, we can consider it dangerous. I knew it wasn't beyond the realm of possibility. Consider the things I'd seen the Dawnbringers do to monsters in their twisted little headquarters. It was not only possible, but likely that what we're dealing with was the first of its kind. A real dragon creature. But why make her? And what was she doing out here? We'll discuss this more later. The fact that this creature showed up means that it knows where we're here, that we're camped, and could come back. Right, we need to secure the area and make sure she doesn't come back. Sarah, you're going to need to set up Skynets. Right, I'll get on it. It'll take some time. I know, just be thorough. What can Jelly do? You. I suddenly felt the urge to run between Jelly and Michelle to make sure Michelle didn't hit her. The look on her face was one of loathing.
I think you've done enough. Where on earth were you? Jelly's sorry. Jelly was just...
Michelle, calm down.
Why? Jelly ran off and Asher was gone because of it. If that monster had hurt someone... Jelly's really sorry, Michelle.
I have half a mind that that's enough, Michelle. You've made your point. Stop tormenting her.
Asher, Jelly's sorry.
Jelly, I glanced at her to see large crocodile tears pouring down Jelly's face from the embarrassment and shame. Jelly, calm down. It's okay.
No, it's not.
Oh, God, look at that face. Look at that face right there. That is perfection.
It's not okay. Jelly always screw everything up. Jelly, try to help. Jelly's always making things worse. Jelly shouldn't come.
I made a move towards her, but Jelly just jumped away and ran towards the tent. She sprinted off to the tent and hid herself inside, sobbing the whole way.
Damn it, I really lost it.
You and that temper of yours are going to get you in more trouble one of these days.
I'll go talk to her. No, I need to. I'll go apologize. It's my fault after all.
No, you cool off.
Asher, I'm calm now. I just want to set things right.
You'll get to apologize once you've cooled off and Jelly stopped crying. Abraham, mind going with me to check on the little slime ball?
Damn it, I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right. It's all right. Your anger's understandable, but
there's no excuse. I lost my temper. I'll go stay with Annie a while until things cool off a bit.
Good. Sorry, Michelle.
It's all right, Asher. I forget myself sometimes. I'll just go stay with Annie a while.
That girl. She's scary when she's angry. Oh, I don't think badly of her, kid. Michelle's really a great leader. She just has that short temper, partly because of her lack of patience and also a bit of the wolf in her, I suppose. Still, poor Jelly. Michelle was right, you know. Jelly shouldn't have run off on her own. But if there's one thing Michelle struggles with, it's getting her point across with tact. Well, you seem like you're pretty good at it, though. Asher's nose wrinkled a bit, but then burst out laughing. Seriously? I promise you, dude, I am so much worse than Michelle. Remember how I punched you back at the beach when you asked me to turn you into a vampire? Do I ever? I was so furious I didn't even want to discuss the matter or explain the horrible thing you just asked. In my defense, I was trying to be stronger. I didn't want to be weak. Abraham Tamil is weak. Annie is weak. Jelly is... well, she's Jelly. But just because they can't fight or stand up to dangers like I can doesn't mean they aren't valuable. We all have roles to play and we all look out for each other. That was the point I was trying to get across back then. At the business end of your freaking fist, it got the message across, I think. The point is, Abraham, that I'm far worse than Michelle when it comes to expressing myself and communicating. So that's why you're not the leader. My job is protecting and mediate the club. When Michelle steps out of line, I make sure she calms down. When I step out of line, I expect the club to do the same for me. I think I get it, but still, I don't like seeing Michelle that angry or Jelly that upset. Agreed, so let's go check on the little blob, alright? Right behind you. Yeah, I noticed some flaws in that coding, but again, this was a very early project. Until last, it was just me staring up at the moon and the stars. The movement stopped, but I didn't see anything coming from the sky. I knew above us the treetops were long lines of threads set up by Sarah that would snare anything that flew into them bigger than an eagle. If the dragon had returned, we'd know, so I assumed the rustling was just a squirrel.
Abraham?
Annie?
Hi, I wanted to sit with you.
She hugged her stuffed cat to her chest and sat down next to me in the meek little fire that served to keep us warm. She shivered a bit and leaned against me. I wrapped my arm around her and sighed. Cold?
Mm-hmm.
She reached out her hand towards the fire and cooed softly like a dove.
Bultada.
Aw, another cute image. Love Annie. She is one of my favorite characters. Annie smiled satisfied and snuggled into my chest. I wrapped her arm around her and smiled. I haven't seen you use your witchcraft in a while.
I don't often get the chance.
Well, it's nice to see it. You know what I just realized? She looks a bit like Velma Dinkley from the original Scooby-Doo. And thanks for heating things up.
I heard Michelle yell at Jelly.
Oh, you did?
and the dragon girl attacked me.
Sorry about that, Annie.
Is it my fault?
No, of course not.
Julie got yelled at because she ran off, and Michelle can't control her temper well.
And the dragon attacked because she was curious, that's all.
I also killed that firefly.
I couldn't help but groan a bit. Annie was a marvelous girl, cute, innocent, and youthful. When she was happy and excited, she was a joy to be around. Shortly after joining our club, the clubhouse was destroyed. Not long after that, Asher and Michelle had been kidnapped. As a result, Annie had started to pin all our misfortunes on herself. After all, bad luck tends to follow witches, right? I guarantee you, Annie, you're not at fault. Sometimes bad things happen. We can't stop them. We can't always control them. But don't think for 1 minute it's your fault. Annie gave a soft smile and nodded her head.
Abraham, you're so nice to me, even though I'm a witch and I'm not from here.
Yeah, well, of course, you're part of the family.
Yes, Monster Club is like a family, and you're like a big brother.
I always kind of got that feeling from you.
It's true. You and I are so alike. We both are orphans, we both are not quite monsters, and we both had to travel a long way to find a new home.
I can't do magic.
No, but I'm not afraid of you. Michelle and Asher can be scary. Sarah's nice and she's like a mom. Katie is grouchy sometimes, and Tamil's really funny. Calypso's really quiet but really nice. Tori's just weird. But you're warm. You play with me and you listen to me. You're not scary.
I guess the club can be a bit rough around the edges sometimes. She held my hand and like a little sister to a big brother put her head on my chest and hugged me around the middle, struggling to get her arms around me.
I love this club. They're my family, and you're my big brother.
I smiled and quietly rubbed her hair for a while until she at last began to nod off to sleep. I just sighed and closed my eyes for a few minutes, happy to be here with her. With everyone in the club, it felt like spending time with family, just like what Annie said. Aw, so cute. I never even noticed myself falling asleep. Abraham! Abraham! I tried opening my eyes. I heard Michelle screaming. What was wrong? What was happening? Damn it! Put out that fire! I'll get him! Why couldn't I open my eyes? Why was I so tired? Something was terribly wrong, but I couldn't find out what. I felt my body being jerked and yanked, and then a sharp pain in my head. Then silence once more. Dun dun dun! Scary. Ooh. Ow. My head. I rubbed my head and felt a piece of cloth fall off my face and onto the ground. I glanced at the scene and realized I recognized nothing. I appeared to be in some kind of cave. Rocks and spikes surrounded me on all sides, and the only sound that could be heard was the echoing trickle of water from a cave pool, not far away where rainwater trickled in and gathered. What was I doing here? How had I gotten here? What's going on? Who's there? I sat up and the movement sent jolts of pain up my body. Glancing down, I saw a few scratches and bruises, like my body had been beaten to some degree. You're awake? Who said that? Ah! It was the Dragonette, the girl from before, the one who'd attacked the camp and scared Annie. Again, I love the design of this. I love the design. Was she the one who brought me here? My scream didn't make her look any more calm now. So noisy. You're annoying. Don't hurt me, okay? Just want to know why you're here. She spoke roughly with a low and frustrated tone and a southerner country-style accent. Her vernacular was also kind of off, like she hadn't spoken to anyone in a long time and was being reminded of the way her voice sounded. Well, I don't know. I just woke up here. Not in the cave, you idiot. I want to know why you gone set up your camp out there. You're looking for me, ain't you? You're looking like them critters in the Dawnbringers ad-libs in their prison. Oh, the club? We're the Monster Club. We're not with the Dawnbringers. She let out a low and savage snarl. Don't you play dumb with me, boy. You ain't all monsters. You're human. How do you got a Monster Club if you ain't all monsters? You're lying. I ain't got no patience for liars. Hold on, ma'am. My name's Abraham, okay? Let's just start with names for a minute. I'm Abraham. What's your name? I ain't gonna tell you nothing. Please, all I want to know is what your name is. That's all, I promise. She stopped growling a moment and stood still, surprised by the question. She actually looked a bit embarrassed, and then her long tail wrapped around her legs nervously. It was then I noticed her clothing.
It wasn't even real clothes. They looked like poorly wrapped bed sheets that were just thrown around her body. I ain't got one. You don't have a name? Don't go laughing. I just don't remember. I don't remember lots of things. I wasn't going to laugh. I'm just wondering more about you. You were at the Dawnbringers HQ, right? Her expression was sour, but there was a glint of depression behind her glare. A small glimmer of disdain. Yeah, I was. So you remember that. What about before they captured you? I don't know. I don't remember nothing for that. It seems strange until I remember something Michelle told me back at the camp. Could this girl be an experiment? The first of her kind? Maybe that's why she didn't remember anything. What are you just staring at? Enough of them bug eyes. You got no sense in that head of yours? No, I mean, yes, I do have sense. I was just lost a moment. I was just thinking of what to call you. It don't matter none. I ain't got no one to call me by it anyhow. I will, though. I just need something to call you. How about Julia? I don't think so. Emily? No. Well, what would you like to be called? Why does it matter anyhow? What's so important about a name? Everyone needs a name, right? She looked at me a long moment curiously, almost as if she wanted to find out if I was making fun of her or not. But after a few seconds, she relaxed a bit and sighed. I like the name Abigail. Abigail? I like it. I really do. You do? Yeah, it's sweet. Why are you going saying stuff like that? I brought you here, didn't I? We ain't supposed to be all friendly, are we? Well, I mean, I am still kind of curious why you brought me here. You haven't really told me. I need to talk while you and your club are after me. We just want to help you. Find a new home or help you get out in the wild. Her expression softened and her anger died down. I wasn't sure she believed me, but she wasn't being as hostile anymore. You're fooling, right? Trying to slip me up? No, of course not. I'm honestly I'm not trying to trick you. That your job or something? Going out and giving out charity to misfits? Well, I guess that's part of our job. But we don't just want to... Look, we're getting off topic. I took a hesitant step forward to show my sincerity. I only prayed it would work. Abigail, the truth is that we know how dangerous it can be out here. We want you to consider letting us help you out. Why? Well, no one deserves to be alone, do they? Her face shifted to a smile, something I certainly wasn't expecting. She seemed pleased by my answer. Damn. You're a right fine gentleman, ain't you? I am? Still don't trust you as far as I can throw you, but you seem genuine enough. Either that or you're a gifted liar. Look, just come down and talk to the club yourself. They'll listen and we can talk this out. Right. And I must have been born yesterday, right? Ain't no way I'm meeting with your friends. Not yet, anyway. It'll be easier that way. Easier to catch me, right? I ain't going down there. Then at least let me go and talk to them. Maybe we can negotiate. I'll talk to them for you and work something out. She kept her eyes on me with a very fierce look. Her eyebrow was raised, but she seemed to be thinking on the proposition. What kind of assurance can you give that you won't double-cross me? Just take me back to my friends, and I'll talk to the gang. I'll bring one person back with me to chat with you two. We'll talk things out together. No. For all I know, you'll bring that vampire. Asher won't come. It'll be someone else. Someone not dangerous like Asher or Jelly. This seemed to calm her down a bit. Guess Asher spooked her. Jelly's that slime who attacked? Yes, that's her. She all right? Oh, definitely. She's totally fine. That's good. Didn't mean to hurt her. You can apologize in person, if you like. How about the girl in the red jacket? Or the spider? Sure, I can bring one of them back, but you gotta let me go first. And you swear to keep your word? Yeah, nobody's gonna try to hurt you. I still ain't sure you're trustworthy. Maybe you just have to take a leap of faith on this. She began pacing back and forth a few times, her wings folded up to her side as her tail swayed nervously. I must be losing my mind. But I'll try and trust in you. At least a little. You don't strike me as one of them. Thank you so much. I rose to my feet but then stopped, realizing I had no idea how I was going to get back to the others. How do I get back to them? Heck, how do I bring them back to you? I don't know where we are. That's a fair point, and I ain't dumb enough to go showing you my hiding place. Reckon I'll have to meet in the man myself. Yes, you won't regret it, but I'll meet with you with one another. No other club members. It's a deal. So, when will you come by? Tomorrow night, after sundown. Great, that's fantastic. So, how will I get home now? I don't know the way. Don't you worry none. I'll get you back to him, but First, you gotta take a nap. What? But I was just asleep. Yep. Nap, kid. We'll be in touch. Ah! And back to sleep we go. You named her after the gator? No. This game was made well before I met Abigail the gator. So, if anything, I named the gator after her. Black screen. There we go. Guys, I found him. He's over here. He's okay. Hold on, I'm coming. Thank God. Quick, is he hurt anywhere? I groggily began to feel myself coming around. The darkness was melting away, and I could feel warm sunlight on my skin. It was morning now? I finally opened my eyes and looked up to see Sarah over me, tears in all 6 of her eyes. Oh my God, Abraham, we were so worried about you. Sarah, when did I get here? Where am I? Try not to make any sudden movements. You were kidnapped last night and everyone was so worried about you. Abraham, how are you feeling? Did the dragonute hurt you?
Guys, I'm alright. She didn't hurt me. Where did she go? Did she say anything to you?
Enough! All of you, he's safe and sound now. Let's give him a few minutes. But I said enough!
God, Sarah's face there. I love that expression. It was funny, when we were designing the character sprites, we originally had like only 6 different expressions, but I insisted that we add some more intense expressions, and that was one of them. That was such a good expression. Like that face is great. What's Monster Club the game? What we're playing, get some. It's a game that I helped make. It was very rare that I got to see Sarah genuinely angry, but she could be quite intimidating when she wanted to be. Her red eyes flashed dangerously and her arms wrapped around me in a protective hold.
I'm taking him back to camp to get some rest. He's had a long night, and I'm not letting him be interrogated after just being kidnapped. Come on, Abraham. Right. Go on, Abraham.
Man, been a while since Sarah yelled at me like that. We'll patrol the area. You get some rest. At first, I was rather glad by Sarah's protectiveness. I did feel incredibly tired, like I'd not had any real restful sleep whatsoever. But then I remembered why I was kidnapped and returned. She was coming tonight and I needed to tell the club about her. There was no time to waste. Wait, guys, I need to tell you about her, the dragon girl.
Let that wait, all right? You poor thing, I'm so sorry. My webs didn't stop that monster and she broke right through them. They clearly weren't thick enough, and it was all my fault. I'm taking you to your tent to get some sleep.
But Sarah, I'm okay. I need to tell you about the dragonute. She's...
Don't you worry, Abraham. She'll be dealt with. No one hurts my family and gets away with it.
I shrank back a bit. She was still in fierce fury that I dared not challenge. Best not to argue with her right now. I was honestly kind of scared to let Sarah be the one to meet with Abigail. I don't think Sarah would resist the urge to take her out.
Oh, I almost forgot. We need to let Jelly and Annie know that you're all right. After you were taken, both have been mortified and quite torn apart. Let's calm them down and get things back to normal. Then we can play 20 questions about what happened.
Right. Got it. Love Sarah, guys. Sarah's so awesome. We walked back to camp until at last I could see the silk tents left by Sarah from the night before. I didn't see anyone at first and wondered what had become of Jelly and Abraham! Aww. Got the hugs going on here. Perfect hug moment.
Abraham, you're back! You're back! I'm so sorry, Abraham. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
The girls had been in a death grip around my middle, both teary-eyed and whimpering. Jelly looked on the verge of complete breakdown while Annie was whimpering and crying. There was no way I could peel them off me right now. Girls, calm down. It's okay. I'm okay.
We were so scared.
Jelly, it's okay now. Relax.
I thought you were going to die. Girls, please give the poor boy his space.
Despite her demands, Jelly and Annie didn't let go, holding on to me like they were worried I'd melt away to nothing if they dared to relax their grip.
Are you hurt?
I'm okay, Annie. I promise I'm okay now. Let go, please. I'm feeling a bit suffocated.
Jelly is glad you're okay. We're all happy, Abraham.
Thanks, girls. I'm all right, I assure you.
Girls, please let Abraham relax a bit. Besides, you two should be packing, right?
Packing?
After you were kidnapped, Asher decided the situation was far too dangerous for the younger ones, namely Jelly and Annie. Asher called the clubhouse, and someone is coming to pick them up and take them back until we get home. Jelly not wanting to go. Yeah, we want to stay. Then go argue with Asher about it. Go on. I watched the girls run to Asher just at the other end of camp as Sarah remained with me, relaxing. Now, let's get you rested and recuperated. Sarah, please don't baby me. What I need is to tell you what happened. I met the dragon girl. Listen, she's not a bad person. She's scared of us. She just wants to meet us. Meet us? But then why kidnap you? She thought we might be enemies, so she took me since I couldn't overpower her and she wanted to interrogate me. Sarah looked a bit confused and started to speak, but I interrupted her. Her name is Abigail. I promised her we'd talk to her. Just two of us. Me and one other member of the club, not Asher. Who? Maybe you, Michelle, Annie? Someone safe who won't frighten her. I'd rather not put Annie in danger. I really don't think she's bad. I think she'll come back tonight. Can we at least have ourselves ready to welcome her? Sarah's expression fell a bit as she tried to think of all the possible ways this idea could go wrong. I wasn't letting up, though. I knew just how important it was to reach out to Abigail and earn her trust. But it felt like the club was already starting to lose heart. Having Annie and Jelly go home, Asher and Michelle panicking, this wasn't going well. We had to make this work or this whole trip was for nothing. Please trust me on this, Sarah. I know what I'm doing. Abraham, of course I trust you. I'm just worried. Tell you what, let's go talk over the idea with Asher and Michelle. We'll follow your lead tonight, okay? Hooray. Needless to say, Michelle and Asher weren't too keen on the plan, but after much discussion and debate, they finally agreed to it. That night, Asher would take off to go hunting, leaving Abraham with either Sarah or Michelle. As night began to fall, the tension around the camp was restless. Annie and Jelly kept trying to sneak out of the tent to see Abigail, but Sarah had gathered her silk around the tent to lock them inside. No point in them getting hurt. And here we would meet her, Abigail. All the thread traps are down, the girls are all tucked away, and Asher's off on one of his night hunts. Hope there aren't a lot of unsuspecting hikers out for him to feed on. Abraham, you know he doesn't kill people when he feeds. He just takes what he needs. I was joking, Michelle. All just a joke. That was only partly true. Asher had fed from me before, so I knew he was a gentle person, but the thought of Asher's fangs, the look in his eyes when he tastes blood, he was more than able to kill if he wanted to. Michelle, the girls are in their tents. Are you sure you don't want me here too? I need you in the trees, Sarah. If things go south, you need to be ready to drop down and help us. If she sees you standing with us, she'll think we're there to overpower her. Best to let her be more at ease. Right, I'll go keep an eye out. Or maybe all six. I hate when she makes those dumb puns. Can't blame her for being a little excited. My explanation stopped at the sound of large wings flapping, catching my ears. They seemed to catch Michelle's, too, as her expression quickly turned cold. Get ready. And she should be arriving. She appeared before us once more, landing from the sky with a soft and controlled thud. Hi, Abraham. Hey, Abigail. This is Michelle. The two exchanged glances and Michelle nodded politely. Pleasure to meet you. Sure thing. Listen, Abigail, it's like I told you before. We're not here to hurt you or anything. Michelle is the leader of our monster club. She'll vouch for us. We did everything you asked and met you here. Just the two of us, no strings attached. You can trust us. You know I value honesty, right? You're not lying, are you? I'm not, I swear. I ain't blind, boy. I saw the spider girl crawl into the tree before I landed, and I'm a-willing to bet the slimin' little girl ain't far neither. Got that vampire stash somewhere? Abraham has kept his word to you. Yes, Sarah did go up into the tree, but that's so she can be a lookout for trouble. Jelly and Annie are no threat to you in any way, and I sent Asher off on an all-night hunt. It's just us. Take it or leave it, friend. Abigail blinked a few times and glanced around as if she might see a trap or other monsters in hiding. When she saw nothing, her body relaxed slightly. Well, suppose you did keep your word. It counts for something. Abigail, if you don't mind me asking, where did you get those clothes from? They look like bed sheets or drapes. That's 'cause they are. I didn't get no clothes. I was with the Dawn Bringers. I had to swipe what I could on the run. Be surprised what people leave out to dry in their yards. Oh, sorry. No problem, Mutt. You were just trying to be friendly. Mutt. You're a werewolf, ain't you? I can smell it on you. Girls, let's not get into a fight. Let's both just cool off. Michelle and Abigail both seemed to relax a little, but I could see that Abigail required a bit of patience to deal with. Her lack of tact would not sit well with Michelle. Maybe having Sarah here instead of would have been better. Abigail, we'd like to extend an offer to come with us. Come with you? We want you to join the Monster Club. Abigail's eyes widened and blinked several times. That's a real offer. You're not jerking me around. I know it seems too good to be true, but we're a shelter and home for folks like you who have nowhere to turn and who need a family. But if you feel like this isn't what you want, you can decline the offer. If you do, though, I'd like to know, what's your plan if you don't come with us? I've lived out here this long. I could do it again. We found you pretty easily. The little slime jelly claimed her whole family saw you flying here. Eventually, you'll be found by people less friendly than us. You need a plan, and if you'd like, we can help with that. I suddenly realized why Michelle was the leader. It was true that with Jelly and those rather immature, she could be short-fused and her tact needed work. But when it came to this, talking to people, convincing them to rally to her cause, giving them hope in themselves, this was her gift. Just listening to her made me feel like the club was even more than I'd ever thought it could be. Abigail's face seemed to be softened at the thought. I reckon I ain't got much of a plan right now. Then why not let us lend a hand with that? What about your vampire friend? He gonna have a problem with me? Asher probably won't mind. He's just out hunting right now, but when he gets back, I'm positive he'll welcome you with open arms. Let's bring the rest of the club out. They'll show you that we're not against you here. Gang, come on out. Hi, you're the dragon lady, right? Jelly, be polite. Yes, I'm a dragonute. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Abigail. We're so sorry for the poor introductions. Your wings are really pretty. I promise we're not going to cause you any more trouble than we already have. Jelly and Sarah both made good first impressions, though I could tell that the constant attention was making Abigail a bit uneasy. It's, nice to meet y'all. Just give me a minute, Kay.
Give her a bit of space, folks.
Oh, right, of course. Come on, Jelly, let's let the girl breathe.
See what I mean?
We're not bad people, and we only want to help. Guess the boy was telling the truth. He ain't with them Dawnbringers after all. She sighed a moment and looked around, and slowly her smile began to harden into a stern frown. Sorry, but I ain't ready to make this call. What's wrong? It's too obvious, too easy. I ain't born yesterday. This feels like a scam, a trick to let my guard down.
Abigail, I promise you that's not what this is.
You might be right, Abraham. I want to believe it. I want to trust you, but I can't yet. It just ain't going to work this quick.
But Abigail,
It's okay, Abraham. She's nervous. That's all right. I looked at Michelle, stunned by her smile. We're going to be here for a few days yet. We can give you some time to think it over. Feel free to drop by any time in the meantime. Maybe we can prove our intentions yet. Yeah, we'll see.
Without another word, Abigail gave a sad look to me as if to apologize and then flapped off into the night. When she was all lost out of sight of her, Michelle let out a long sigh. Why do you let her go? We could have convinced her to see the right side.
Convinced? That seems a bit communistic, don't you think? Tragic as it is, some folks just aren't interested and others take a long time to win over. Katie was similar, actually. Don't worry, we're not leaving until we get a clear answer. Nobody here's given up, Abraham. We're going to do all we can to help Abigail.
Yay! I love those bits. I was the first to wake up that morning. All of last night seemed like a dream. Abigail had actually shown interest. Perhaps we'd finally get through to her. There was hope. Thank goodness that she hadn't done anything excessive. It seemed like after all we'd gone through, it was time for a bit of good news. I heard the sound of someone moving through the bushes and turned around to see a tired and slightly burnt Asher. Asher! Keep it down, Abraham. Don't wake everyone. Get out of the sun. You'll burn up. Turn into Ashley or something. Calm down. I'll be okay. Relax. Asher was a vampire and was therefore susceptible to sunlight and burning to death. Often his way of avoiding this was sleeping all day, or if he had to go outside, he turns into a small girl named Ashley so that he can slip under some shade without exposing a large body to the sunlight. Just move already! All right, but first, how did things go last night? We think Abigail is interested. Asher seemed satisfied with that as he finally turned and walked under the shade of a tree. Finally, some good fortune. So what's the plan today? Well, Michelle thinks it's time to rotate the troops. So she agrees. She didn't seem too high on the idea when I first proposed it. It's what she said last night. Wonder why she changed her mind about it.
I made the decision for a reason, bloodsucker. Put simply, we're overcrowded here and making ourselves a big target. But I also don't want the kids out here longer than they need to be. Jelly did good giving us clean water, but she's too prone to wandering off. And Annie showed a lot of maturity, but her feelings for Abraham made her nearly run after Abigail when she kidnapped him. This trip is getting to them, and I want some seasoned campers on this one.
All fair points. But do you think it's wise to send them home alone?
That's why I'm thinking of sending Sarah back with them. She's able to look after them for us.
So you intend to send Sarah home and replace her with Katie? Katie's an emotional and sometimes hostile girl to strangers at the best of days. She might just threaten Abigail.
That's a good point. Look, let's just wait on them to get here and we'll consider sending her home with them instead. But Sarah's already working herself pretty hard as it is. Fine. We'll see what happens. We've made good progress, and I'd hate for it all to be ruined before we can see it through. I know. Personally, I'd like to be the one to go home. I'm exhausted, but I don't think it'd be a good idea for me to leave.
Well, why not? The two seemed a bit surprised by my voice, as if they forgot for a moment I was there.
But because I'm the club leader, it's my responsibility.
That's a pretty lame excuse.
Watch it!
Michelle, I think it might be a good idea if you head back home and rest up a while. You're carrying way too much on your own shoulders, and
Now hold on a sec,
and you shouldn't have to. Michelle, you're our leader, but that doesn't mean you need to do everything for us or take the full responsibility. Michelle looked more than a little frustrated, but Asher held firm and kept his gaze locked on her fiercely. Finally, Michelle let out a long sigh.
You'll lead in my absence?
Of course I will.
Then I guess I'll take your advice on this one. I could use some R&R.
How do you want the group to be restructured? Who's going back home with you?
I'll take Annie and Jelly home for sure. Besides, I want Jelly to get word to her group. They might want to be kept up to date on this development. Sarah can stay. Her warm personality will be helpful in winning Abigail over.
What about Calypso, Katie, and Tamil?
Tamil might like the chance to smell the mountain air, but I don't want him out here for too long. He can be worse than Jelly when it comes to getting into trouble. If Katie's feeling up to it, she can stay. As for Calypso, I couldn't imagine keeping you two lovebirds apart.
Oh, shut up. Asher and Calypso had only been dating for a month or so, but it was still rather embarrassing when they were teased about it. Even now I recalled how awkward the two were when around each other, the timid and reserved Calypso shrinking back from the vampire who himself was barely able to look her in the eye. It was adorable, and yet I would never say a word about it to Asher.
The real trick will be keeping Katie under control, considering how distrusting she is.
Abraham can help with that. She listens to him. I felt myself blush a bit.
All right, well, I'm going to go wake up Sarah and see if we can't get some breakfast started. Asher, I recommend you get out of the sun. Why not turn into Ashley? Calypso'd love that.
Not happening. So, Abraham, what's your plan now, while the ladies get breakfast started?
I might go and find some fresh water with Jelly. We could always use more since Jelly will be leaving soon.
Sounds like a decent plan. I'm off to bed for the morning. I'll catch you later. I like Asher. Asher's always been fun. I watched him return to bed as I stood in the campsite. I felt myself reflecting on all that had happened. The first changes and sudden turns. I felt oddly like I was on some kind of unruly track that was taking me down a path that, until before, I hadn't seen possible. Sure, when we went set out, I thought the plan was simple. Find a rogue monster, save her, offer her the chance to join the club. But this monster, Abigail, she wasn't so simple. She wasn't anything like I'd expected. Half the club felt uncomfortable around her, and she herself was a question mark. What would she decide to do? Would she come with us? If she did, how would we afford her when we could barely afford to live off what we have as it is? If she chooses not to come with us, can we really trust her to last on her own? Nothing is ever simple, is it?
It rarely is.
Sarah!
You know, life isn't supposed to be simple.
I wasn't complaining. I was just...
Yes, I know. Abraham, the way you feel, overwhelmed and a bit confused, trust me, I'll feel the same way.
I don't want our club split up or disoriented. I want to help Abigail, but I'm starting to worry about what'll happen if we do, and what'll happen if we don't.
Unfortunately, that's kind of how life is, Abraham. Answers are never as clear-cut and black and white as we'd like.
What do you think is the right choice?
Me? I don't know. I guess we're on the same page then. But I'd keep trying to get Abigail to join us.
But you just said...
I don't know the right choice, Abraham, but that doesn't mean a choice can't be made. Sometimes you have to trust your heart and have faith that it'll see you through.
And if it doesn't work?
Then it doesn't work, and I feel bad about it for a while. But at least I don't sit on my hands doing nothing.
I was always so amazed by Sarah's heart, her optimism, her compassion. It was the first thing I'd noticed about her when I met the club. So I'm just going to say this. I'm going to pause for a moment and just say this. People ask me sometimes who my favorite character I ever wrote is, and I'm going to be real honest, it's Sarah. Sarah is my favorite character that I ever wrote. She is one of these characters who I just adore. She's scary in the sense that she's a Spider-Woman, but she is so optimistic and so wise and so friendly, and she's just got this personality I absolutely adore. You know, she's so fantastic. I really, really love Sarah's character. I know that may be just me speaking, but Sarah is my favorite character that I ever wrote, hands down. I absolutely love Sarah. Okay, moving on. I knew why Michelle and Asher wanted her to stay to help Abigail to us. With a heart like hers, who wouldn't want to stay?
You're something else, Sarah. I'm just who I am, Abraham, and that's all I can ever be. Now, I better go sort of the wedding perimeter. I think I saw Annie and Jelly waking up. Want to go see if they're packed and ready to leave? How did you know they were the ones going home? I do have ears, Abraham.
Well, better go check on the kids. The day proceeded pretty much in peace. Sarah spent most of the morning spinning webs and repairing damage to the tents. Michelle barked orders and everyone followed them. Asher slept most of the day, not wanting to come out in the sun. Annie and Jelly did their jobs to get ready and leave, though the look of disapproval on Annie's face was apparent. Jelly didn't seem that pleased either, but it wasn't until later that they expressed anything to me.
Abraham, we need to talk. Please.
What's wrong, girls?
Jelly and Annie been thinking, we not wanting to leave you. We want to stay with Club and finish what is started.
Well, it's really not my call. Michelle made that decision.
But you can talk to Michelle and get her to let us stay, right?
Annie, I just can't do that.
It's because we're young, isn't it? That's why you don't want us around.
I'd never seen this side of Annie before. She seemed cold, so dark. She wasn't angry with me, but she did seem very disappointed. Look at Annie's expression. That angry pout. Just, damn. It's so cute. Abraham, that's not it at all. It's because we want you to be safe, and we need Jelly to contact the farm group and get them to help us out.
Jelly can't help you herself?
No, come here and listen to me, both of you. I stepped closer and knelt down so they were eye level. Jelly, you're not technically a part of this club, but you are part of our family, and like anyone else in our family, you have a role to play. You have to inform your group of the situation so they can help us too. That's a very important job to complete.
It is?
Yeah, who else is going to be as convincing as you, Jelly? You're the one who got us all to go after Abigail in the first place. If anyone can pass along the news of Christina and Alexander, it's you. Slowly I could see Jelly's eyes twinkle with glee at the praise.
Jelly's really important?
Oh, absolutely. So think you're up to the job?
Don't worry. Jelly tell Christina and Alexander and make them come. Jelly do her best.
Excellent. Go tell Michelle you're ready, okay?
Yes, Jelly, go tell her. I'm not as dumb as Jelly.
God, I love writing that line. I love that line because it does show that Annie she can be a little cold. Like, just I'm not as dumb as Jelly. Just, damn. Oh, God, Annie, you're awesome. The smile on my face fell when I saw the scowl in Annie's eyes. It was true that Jelly was very naive, and a lot of what I said had only been meant to bolster her, but it was clear Annie was not so easily persuaded. Annie, why do you want to stay so badly? After what you saw last night and after what Abigail nearly did to me?
I want to help you. I want to make sure you don't get hurt.
That's what Asher's here for. He'll keep us safe.
You are family.
Well, yeah, but everyone in the club is a family.
No, Abraham. You're like a brother to me. You look after me more than anyone else. I can't lose you too.
Annie's eyes finally gave way to her tears and I understood her plight now. Annie, who had been born and raised in South Korea, was found and nearly killed by a gang of witch hunters. They'd murdered her mother and father, and when she escaped to America, she'd had no one to care for her. I always knew she saw me as a brother, but I never considered just how much that meant, just how it would feel to lose it all over again. Annie, I'm going to make you a promise right now that I will come back.
You don't know that,
Annie? Oh, that face, that effing face. God, I just want to hug it. I want to hug it. I'm not going to die, all right? I'll be back at the club in no time, and we'll go fishing together when I do, all right? We'll talk and spend all day together, but since you're my little sister, I can't lose you either.
You promise?
I promise you. Cross your heart and hope to die.
Thank you, Abraham.
Go finish getting packed. Katie and the dogs will be here in any time now. Wow. That was something. When Jelly came running over to me and saluting like a military officer, saying she was ready to do her best and rally the farm club, I was sure I was dreaming. Then I saw you do that. What, you gonna make fun of me?
No, quite the opposite. Abraham, you have a way with these kids that I just can't possibly have. You got through to Jelly and Annie with so little effort. I mean, Annie's always liked you the most because you relate so well, but you just have a gift, dude. And then the way you managed to win the trust of Abigail so swiftly. You know, I'm starting to wonder if it's me who should be leading this club.
Don't say that. You're our leader, and that's the way I want it.
Relax, Abraham. I'm joking. Remember jokes?
Don't scare me like that.
But that said, I have changed my mind. Asher won't be in charge while I'm gone. You will be. That's in order.
Me?
Good luck, champ. That Michelle comes in with a compliment and then decides to pull a fast one. Why did you make her so cute if you had to say no to her? I know. like, if you had to say no to her, why make her so cute, man? Through the trees came three club members who had been absent. Katie, Tamil, and Calypso. Let's see them. Abraham, you're all right. Why does everyone assume I wouldn't be? Sorry, I've just been concerned. So what else new? Don't you start, Tamil. No have to worry. Secret's safe with me. I don't have a secret. Come on, you two. Play nice. There's Calypso. Oh, what a design. So it's actually kind of funny. Mika was the original one who designed most of the club. And Calypso was definitely her favorite. I don't know why she wanted to make Calypso blue-skinned and white-haired. That was the only thing I never quite understood. But, I mean, it does set her apart, so I'll give it that. Grr, I'm going to go talk to Michelle. Hi. Hey, Calypso, long time, huh? How was the honeymoon with Asher? Oh, don't ask about that. It's really embarrassing. She and Asher went run away together, yes? Tamil. I'm only joking. Tamil, I didn't think you'd want to come out here. After all, you're not a fan of being far from the clubhouse. No, I not want to come. But Katie say I can't stay in house alone. Will you go back with Michelle, Annie, and Jelly? If lucky. Tamil, you must relax a little. I thought some fresh air would cheer you up. It's nice to stretch legs, but camping bring back bad memory of what happened last time I go camping at the beach. Oh, yes. I remembered that night too well. The night when the club had camped on the beach, when Michelle had transformed into a massive werewolf, having forgotten about the full moon, and nearly killed Sarah, Asher, and myself. It was a haunting memory on all of our minds. On another topic, how is everyone? Is Asher okay? Sarah? The kids? No worried about Michelle? No need to worry about her. She's strong enough for 10 people. They're all fine. No one is hurt. What do you know telling? I quickly winced. Tamil wasn't easy to lie to. His sharp hearing could pick up fluctuations in speech. Lying to him was no different than talking to a polygraph. Nothing. It's true. No one was hurt. But something happened. Abraham, tell us. We need to know. Yeah, the monster we're dealing with is a dragonoot. She did attack and kidnap me at one point. She what? It's okay, keep your voice down. She's not our enemy. She's considered joining us. Sounds unstable to me. To kidnap and do harm without any practical reason? Stop it. Not another word about it. Michelle. Abigail may not suit all tastes, but if we turn her away based on just first impressions, then we'll become the very thing we formed the Monster Club to escape from. Calypso and Tamil both changed from looks of aggression to looks of shame. Yeah, you're right. Now, it's almost time for the girls and myself to head back. Are y'all going to be okay here? Of course we are. Hope not minding if I sleep most of the time. Don't be a handful, Tamil. Now, I better gather the girls. We'll be sending back up from the farm group as soon as possible. A slight shadow fell over Michelle's face. Something wrong? Nothing, just I have a bad feeling. About Abigail? No, not her. Something else. It's probably nothing. I'm getting paranoid. You always paranoid. And you're always a pain in the ass. Alright, folks, we're ready to go. With Calypso, Katie, and Tamil here now, Michelle rallied Annie and Jelly together to head out. Ooh, changing the tone again. Everyone gathered to say their farewells and Michelle took the girls home. Bye, everyone. My friends will be here soon, I promise. Good luck, everyone. Please be safe. All right, Abraham. You think you're ready to take charge? I don't know, I guess. Have some confidence. If you're not confident in yourself, how can the others be confident in you? But what if I don't know what to do? What if I mess up? You're going to be fine, Abraham. I trust you. We all trust you. I wouldn't let you lead if I didn't. Michelle's expression slowly sank to a more serious one. I felt myself stiffen slightly. It's hard to believe. When I first met you, I thought you were just another human. Someone who'd run away from us, or worse, turn us over to the Dawnbringers. But now I couldn't trust anyone more with the safety of our family. I thought my whole face turned red at her praise. Michelle, thanks. I won't let you down. Aw, you're going to be fine. Just bring everyone home safe and sound. I froze in place and Michelle gave me a gentle peck on the cheek. It wasn't a romantic kiss or even one of pure unbridled love, rather one of affection, of maternal care. In a sense, it was as if she was handing over her reins to me. I will, I promise. I know you will. Because you brought me home safe too. I knew she meant when I'd helped save her from the Dawnbringers, yet I felt her words ran deeper than just that. Before I could ask her, she pulled away and took the girl's hands. See you all soon. Bye-bye. Bye. And they're gone. And thus the three left, disappearing into the trees. Jamil being blind. I didn't have the heart to tell him he was about 20 degrees off. I forgot I wrote that. That was fun. So, what's the plan, boss? Don't call me that. It feels weird. Might need to get used to it. You're in charge, right? Well, I mean, if Sarah finished setting up her webbing around the perimeter, then she should go get some rest. Tamil can join her. Asher, could you go gather some food for us? On it. And me? Dang, I don't even know. I don't feel like there's much to do other than wait for Abigail to show up again. This Abigail person. She's the monster that you've been going after, right? A Dragonoot, yeah. She's not... Well, she hasn't tried to hurt anyone, right? Not yet. From out of nowhere, I heard the sound of large wings flapping, and then Abigail came sailing out of the air and landing just nearby, folding her arm wings against her and grinning. Hey, it's Abigail. But that can always change. Who the hell? Katie, calm down. This is Abigail. She is? You look familiar, Snake Girl. Where are you from? What do you care? Well, just reckon I've seen you before. I think it was back in the Dawnbringer HQ. What? Yeah, I think you were there once. You're the one that got away, right? Caused all that trouble way back when. Katie started to rear up her body like a cobra poised to strike. Her eyes flashed of danger, and I could tell she was becoming rather angry. Katie had been captured long ago by the Dawnbringers and tortured horribly. Abigail hadn't been aware and must have rekindled memories. Katie, calm down. You were there. You were with the Dawnbringers. What's going on? What are you so mad for? I was a prisoner there. Katie, she's not the enemy. Settle down. Katie started to relax a little. It was amazing how paranoid she could get and how quickly. I honestly thought y'all were with the Dawnbringers when I first saw you. That's why I was so hostile at first. I ain't working for them. Right, of course. Sorry. Where'd that werewolf girl go anyway? She went back home. Katie here, Tamil, and Calypso just got here. Shame. I liked her. Nice girl. When she mentioned Michelle being nice, Abigail's glare fell on Katie, and I quickly realized that these two were about to square off again. Katie's expression turned vicious. Dang it, why'd Abigail have to go and piss off Katie again? You got some kind of problem with me? I said I was sorry. Maybe you shouldn't have jumped to conclusions about me, huh? No, if I jumped to conclusions, I'd already sink my fangs in your neck. You threatening me, you snake-faced little... That's enough, both of you! I looked up to see Asher approaching, carrying a deer over his shoulder. He tossed it to the ground when he saw Katie and Abigail getting more and more heated, and there was a furious anger in his eyes. Katie instantly backed down and glowered. Katie, go cool off. But I was... Katie, please. Okay, I'm sorry. And as for you, Abigail... What? You want me to apologize? Yes, actually. Both of them turned to look at me in surprise, and even I was a bit surprised by my outburst. Katie did apologize. You didn't need to push it. So yeah, I think you both need to apologize. Seriously? Yes, I agree with Abraham. Both of you are in the wrong. I don't need this right now. I just came back because I smelled some new folks and was curious. I'm not going to apologize, but I might come back tonight, if I feel like it. Abigail, wait! It was too late. With two powerful flaps of her wings, she was skyward and away. Damn, not exactly a great introduction to the rest of the club, huh? I really screwed up, didn't I? No. Frankly, I think that was bound to happen. Katie's always been a short-fused girl, and Abigail has the tact and sensitivity of a cluster bomb. To be honest, I'd have been surprised if they did get along right away. Would Michelle have handled that better?
Hey, don't start there, kid. You're not going to be the same as Michelle. Lead your own way. And between you and me, I think it was for this very reason Michelle was so happy to run back home. She wanted to avoid this. Oh my God, you mean she left this whole mess on my shoulders because she didn't want to deal with it? Devious, isn't she? Oh, I love these characters. Monster Club was one of the most fun stories I ever worked on. It really was. Just all these characters, they were so fun to play with. Devious, isn't she? Oh, I love it. It was in that moment that I began to realize just how much of a mess I was getting myself into. Dang it, Michelle. That evening began to set in, and things were finally starting to reach a level of calm. Katie had relaxed a great deal and was curled up inside one of the tents. Sarah had been with her most of the day to ensure she was handling herself okay. Tamil just sat outside, picking grass and whistling to himself, not a care in the world. However, it seemed that Asher and Calypso were both missing. I couldn't help but worry that they were in trouble or lost. Abraham, what is on mind? Have you seen Asher or Calypso? Abraham, I not see anything. Am blind. Seriously, man, do you know where they are? No need be worried. Calypso says she won't get clean. Said she wanted to bathe in river. Calypso, being a mermaid, constantly needed to keep her body somewhat moist, so at least once a day she'd sit and soak in a tub or take a shower. Out here, though, laying in the river was the best she could do. However, it was a bit concerning. She knew it would happen when her body got wet. She'd be defenseless out here. Did Asher go with her? Betting he is wanting to be with her. Very funny. It is not to be worried about. I'm thinking Asher's going for a walk. It's getting later now, and sun not as dangerous for him. And how's Katie and Sarah? Sarah is fine, but Katie's still sad about getting mad at Abigail. She thinks you and Asher mad at her. I'm not. Neither is Asher, but she did kind of blow up. That Katie for you. You have no room to talk to me. Remember when Michelle and Asher got kidnapped? You pitched a fit and tried to run away a few times. You're just as childish. Yes, but difference is I am child. Katie, adult. You're older than all of us. Then I be leader then? It slowly dawned on me that Tamil was just screwing with me at this point. You're a real piece of work, Tamil. I know. Tamil was Mika's favorite, actually. I remember that Tamil was a favorite of Mika's. You must be pretty bored if you're picking grass for entertainment. It not so bad. In Egypt we count grains of sand for fun. Seriously? Of course not. So what did you do for fun? Well, we do games like you do. We having lots of outdoor games. And they're pin games, too. I'd like to learn them. No can show. Can't see. Oh, right. Sorry. It's fine. Memory's good enough. What kind of memories? Tamil's face suddenly seemed to falter. Softened and his eyes began to quiver as if searching for a vision. A mental picture. I'm remembering hot sun and clear day. Heat of day on skin like blister, but sweet like gentle leaf. Sandals on feet that catch sand and grind between toes, tickle and make you laugh. And the river. Oh, Nile River, wide and mighty. It go for mile and mile. The fronds and reeds that blow like noise in wind. It is so beautiful. Friends and I chase birds and frogs around river. One time, I'm catching frog and put it in Mom's bread. She screamed so loud and Dad and I laugh. We... What? Sorry. Not liking this memory. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot that you can't... Life not fair sometimes. Tamil could recall some memories of his life in Egypt, but one memory that had been lost to him was the faces of his parents. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't remember what they looked like. So why do you pick the grass? I watched Tamil go at to picking. Grass is soft here, wet and sticky in fingers. It's not like grass in Egypt. Enjoy the wet feeling in my hand, and sound of grass being pulled up, and when rubbed between fingers it make whistling, squeaking noise. Tamil, I'm sorry I asked about your past. I shouldn't have mentioned it. No, Abraham, no needing to apologize. It is sad can't remember much, but like told you long ago, this family now. Long as I have club, I am happy. You're sure? Some days, no. Some days harder than others. But can't focus on past. Have keep walking forward, yes? Yeah, that's right. I put my hand on Tamil's back and gave a gentle pat, and Tamil smiled wider. There were times that I was amazed by his nature and his ability despite all that has been through and forgotten. It hit me how strong Tamil really was, despite his fragile body.
Hey, you two. Sorry to interrupt, but the sun is coming down and Calypso's been gone an awful long time. Can one of you go check on her?
I'll head to the river.
You find her, no worries. Oh, thank you, Abraham. Just make sure you hurry back. I don't know why, but I just have a bad feeling.
I'll find Calypso and be right back, okay? See ya. I darted away from the camp and past the tree line towards the river. The creek bed where Annie and Jelly had been catching fireflies was too shallow for Calypso to get a proper bath. She had to have been gone down deep stream where the creek met a larger river that was about 3 or 4 feet deep at its center. It was the only place she could bathe and swim properly. As I walked, I kept my eyes peeled in the darkness. The sun had set, and I had to be careful that I didn't trip or step on anything. As I walked, I suddenly heard movement and turned to look at the bushes. There was a small figure there, and I quickly moved the bushes aside to see.
Ha! Abraham!
Ashley? Ashley was actually Asher. Asher had the power of shape-shifting at his disposal, and one of the forms was that of a small, adorable girl named Ashley. He claimed that Ashley was actually meant to look like his late little sister. The truth was that Asher didn't like using this form unless he needed to. Being Ashley restricted his vampire powers and allowed him to shelter himself from the sun earlier. However, it made little sense for him to be in this form right now when the sun was down. What are you doing here? I can ask you the same thing. Why are you Ashley right now? And why are you hiding in the bushes?
Well, see, it's,
I'm listening.
I was nervous about Calypso bathing by herself after what Abigail did to you, so I'm just hanging around to make sure she isn't kidnapped.
You're not a very convincing liar.
Shut up! What does it matter why I'm here and I'm Ashley? You got a better reason?
You were trying to peek on Calypso bathing?
How dare you? I would never do such a thing. I can't believe you.
Oh, look, Calypso just came out of the water.
Really?
Ashley spun to look only to see that nothing was there. I gave a victorious smirk and Ashley glared daggers at me.
Dang it, fell right into that.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, go soak your head.
Ashley ran away into the night, and I chuckled to myself as she ran away, her face red and embarrassed. Seemed Asher had his own naughty streak of his own. I pushed past the bushes, and suddenly my heart jumped, caught in my throat. Good transition there. She sat on a rock under the moonlight as her long blue fishtail flipped water back and forth. She was smiling, and when her eyes fell on me, her smile only widened. She turned a bit and brushed her hair back, and I was suddenly more understanding of Asher wanting to peek.
Abraham, was that you I heard sneaking in the bushes?
No, that was Ashley, or Asher. He was trying to sneak a peek.
Really? Aw, I'm not naked. He could have come out to talk. He's so shy.
Asher? Shy? Are we talking about the same vampire?
Yeah, Michelle said the same thing. Weird. But regardless, what can I do for you?
Sarah was getting worried. You've been gone a while.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to worry anybody. I got caught up swimming.
It's all right, but how long are you going to stay out here?
Oh, I was hoping to be out here a while longer. The night is so beautiful, and it's been such a long time since I got to just relax and enjoy a different body of water than the lake back home.
I've wondered. You're from the sea, right? Are you okay swimming in fresh water?
Oh, heavens, yes. Just as long as it's not chlorinated water, I'm okay.
Chlorinated? That bothers you?
Mermaids are adapted to exist in almost any natural water conditions, but chlorine isn't natural. Our bodies reject it.
Guess I don't know nearly as much about you and the others.
That's not true, Abraham. In fact, you know more about us than our nature more than most humans. It's very encouraging.
So you're happy about what I know?
I think that we're all just happy you want to know. Huh. What is it?
It's just, I remember when I first met you. No offense, but you were so shy back then. Now well, it's like you're not the same person.
Oh, I'm sorry. I suppose that I was a bit awkward at first. In truth, I was just, well, I suppose I still am bad at expressing myself.
You seem fine to me. Besides, you could be a lot worse. Look at Katie or Michelle.
Katie's problem is she lacks restraint and has a temper. But Michelle is very sweet. She's very protective. She just feels the club is in danger. Well, she just goes guard dog on us.
Still, they can be hard to deal with.
You manage somehow.
What's that mean?
It's nothing. Forget it.
All right. Well, either way, we should be getting back before Sarah... before I continue, I should say, I love this image of Calypso. Probably my favorite. Probably my favorite image of Calypso that we have. Abraham, come here, quick! I spun around at the sound of Asher's cry. At first I thought he was angry, but that wasn't rage in his voice. It was concern. He was scared. Asher! Sounds like trouble. I haven't heard Asher that worked up in a while. Be careful, all right? Will you drive on and hurry back to the camp? Right. Ah, Asher's worried. I hurried back to the forest, and there saw Asher standing beside a tree, his hand leaning against a tree trunk where he saw me approach. He ran to me. Abraham, this is seriously bad. Sorry, I know I should have been talking to Calypso so long. I know you're not that stupid. Oh, I felt myself blush heavily from that. Asher ignored it. I was making my way through the woods to find some blood and, well, I found bullets on the ground, likely dropped accidentally. A local hunter probably, nothing too serious, right? The bullets were made of Macedonian silver and had mercury tips. This was bad news. Silver was a pure substance that could repel non-humans or unholy creatures. It was one of the few materials that could do harm to monsters. The fact that it was Macedonian, though, meant that it was crafted specifically for hunting the unholy, and that meant one thing. Dawnbringers. Judging by the footprints, we're looking at 8 to 10 hunters. Why are they here? Same reason we are, probably. They want Abigail. Possible scenarios began running through my mind of how to best approach this. What would Michelle do? What would Solomon do? What could I do? I had no idea. I felt lost. I wasn't prepared for this. I'd been preparing for just dealing with Abigail, not a fight with the Dawnbringers. What do you want us to do? Me? You're more experienced with fighting these guys. I only got out of the Dawnbringers headquarters with you and Christina dragging me out of there, remember? You're also acting as our leader. Michelle's trusted you with the position. I wish she hadn't. She had no idea that this would happen. It doesn't change what we have to do, Abraham. Look, Michelle probably didn't know what was coming, but being a leader means you have to prepare for this kind of thing. I'm here to help, but I want you to maintain leadership. Honestly, I'm not really that good of a leader myself, otherwise I'd accept the role. Okay, let me think. There were different ideas and plans running through my head. I could rally the group and move to a new location, but that seemed dangerous since we didn't know where the Dawnbringers were now. Wait, that was a start. Asher, can you find out where the Dawnbringers are now without being found? Of course. Find out where they are and then let me know as soon as you can. If we know where they are, we can determine a proper course of action. What about you? I'll go back to the others. Get Sarah to set up defenses. Best we can do is hold out for the time being. Right. It's a good start. Let's take this one step at a time. Asher ran off and disappeared into the night. I still felt incredibly uneasy about this. I didn't like sending off Asher without us. He could be caught, or worse, we could be attacked and not have him around. I didn't have time to think about that right now. I had to get back and warn the others. I turned and sprinted back to the camp. Sarah! Sarah! Goodness, what's wrong? Where's everyone? Well, Calypso just got back and is resting with Katie, who's been sleeping for a while now. Tamil, well, he's probably in his own tent now. Asher's found evidence that Dawnbringers are searching for Abigail, too. What? Those monsters are here? Sarah, calm down. Shh. Oh, they better pray I don't find them first. After what they did to Michelle and Asher, we don't have time for this. Sarah, settle down already. Asher's gone to find their position. While he's gone, we should ready ourselves to move it out if we need to. I'd like it if you... Dawnbringers again. No can deal with this again. Oh, sorry, Tamil, did we disturb you? I was not asleep. I hear everything. Dawnbringers are here. They after Abigail. Both of you need to chill out right now. Both Tamil and Sarah calmed down and turned to face me, waiting to hear what I had to say. I cleared my throat and continued. Listen, this isn't the time to panic. Sarah, start putting tripwires around in case they come this way. Tamil, go let Calypso and Katie know what's happening. And be calm about it. Lead me to tent, and I do. Right. I'll go get to work. I led Tamil towards the tent where Calypso and Katie were. Once we were there, Tamil slid inside and I stepped back. I had to go help Sarah as best I could. Tamil could relay the information fine without me. I ran back towards Sarah when I slowed down. I could hear a familiar sound. A sound that spelled someone's approach. The sound of leathery wings. Abigail! Thank goodness you're okay. Oh, shouldn't I be? Well, there's been some discoveries. We're doing our best to... Don't you play dumb with me. It was you. You and your filthy lying club. Abigail, what are you talking about? Y'all led them to me. The Dawnbringers just burst into my home and near made off with me. You told them where I was. Fear gripped my heart.
The Dawnbringers had indeed attacked her, and that meant they were resourceful enough to attract her to the cave. But now there were two other factors. One, the Dawnbringers were probably still tracking her, and two, Abigail thought we were responsible. Abigail, it wasn't us. We didn't call them. We hate the Dawnbringers. Liar! I swear it! How could I lead them to you? You kept me unconscious whenever you took me to or from your home. I wouldn't be able to lead them to you, would I? Besides, we're a family of monsters. Why would we work with those evil people? I trusted you. You and your club. She made a dangerous step towards me, and I backed away fast. You lied! You're nothing but another lying human. Stop! Oh, that picture. Oh, gosh, can we just take a minute to appreciate this? Can we just take a minute to appreciate that image? God, that was good. What the hell? I blinked, but to my amazement, Abigail had been halted in her tracks. From the shadow of the tree line, I saw 6 glowing red eyes in the dark, glaring daggers at Abigail. Silk threads stretched from the figure's hand to Abigail, whose arms were now binded to her, webbing strong as silk. You take one more step towards Abraham, and I will personally bury you. Sarah, stop! I'm okay! I didn't have time to make another argument, as suddenly there was a loud hiss, and Katie was in front of me, her coiled body rearing up like a cobra, and her eyes burning angrily. Hold her right there, Sarah. She's mine. Stop, both of you, please. Hold on. She was going to kill you, Abraham. And what's your answer? Kill her? That makes you no better. Please, just hold on a second. To hell with all of you. I hate all of you. Abigail, we didn't call the Dawnbringers. I swear it. I swear on my life. Like I'll ever trust you? I sighed and looked to Sarah, a groan of desperation in my throat. Let her go, Sarah. The hell I will. I said let her go. Do it. She'll kill you. Or she could fly away. Either way, I'm going to prove to her right now I have no interest in restraining her. Sarah, let her go. All right, Abraham. I trust you. I watched as Sarah stepped out of the shadows and cut Abigail's web restraints. Abigail stood there dumbfounded a moment and then turned to face me again. Why? Why are you freeing me? Is it another trick? Another ruse? Would you shut up for just 1 minute and let us talk? Abigail, please. If you want to run away, do it. Abraham, we're not going to hurt you or sell you out. We didn't give you to the Dawnbringers, and we didn't call them here. If you simply refuse to believe us, then run away. I could see the disdain on her face, the confusion. She had been so certain that we were guilty, but now we were giving her the chance to escape. Guilt and embarrassment flushed across her face. Yet, you really didn't call him? Of course we didn't. Abigail, I was held by those monsters for almost a month and tortured. Michelle and Ash were both kidnapped by them and treated like vermin. We could never turn someone else over to them, even if they deserved it. It's true, Abigail. We all resent the Dawnbringers. We could never work with them. We're not your enemies. We never were. Abigail's face fell and her arms dropped to her side. She seemed a bit more relaxed now, more convinced. But then, how'd they find me? I didn't think on anyone to know about my home here. I'm afraid no one is thorough enough to stay hidden forever. The Dawnbringers are resourceful. I'm sure they found out about you somehow. What can I do now? Well, think of something. Let's wait for Asher to get back and we can make a play. No sooner had I said his name than suddenly a large bat came flapping out of the night sky and towards us. It flitted to the ground and then morphed back into Asher. Girls, take our guest into a tent and keep her there. But Asher went now. Upon his command, both Abigail and Sarah hurried towards the girl's tent to get away from him. He looked angry, more than a little. Katie remained, though. She was the only one who didn't shrink from Asher when he got pissed. I want an explanation. What happened? Well, it's not good. The Dawnbringers numbers at least 20 or 25 strong. They're camped out just below the tall mountain at the other side of the river, 4 miles from here. They're practically right on top of us. How'd they find out about Abigail? I have no idea. And really, I don't care right now. We can debate that later. Then what's the plan here? If there's that many, it's best not to take them directly, right? Certainly not without backup. Wait, backup? Didn't Jelly say Christine and the rest of the farm was on its way to help? The farm group is on its way? Really? But even if they all come, the Dawnbringer Rangers are equipped to deal with monsters. We'd still be outmatched and outnumbered. We don't need to fight the Dawnbringers. But with more folks to help, we have more options and ways to avoid and throw them off. I suggest we hold out for the farm group to arrive. Do we know when they'll get here? No, not really. That could be a problem. We can't really wait forever. Do you still have the cell phone that Michelle called you to want to meet with us here in the first place? Yeah. Oh, I see. Not a bad plan. I'd call Michelle and get her up to speed. Just tell her not to come down here. Why not? With her around, we'd have more help in dealing with the Dawnbringers. But more of us means bring more attention to ourselves. Best to have only the people that we need. And considering Annie and Jelly would want to come with her... Okay, good point. I'm going to go call Michelle. You two stay near the camp or the stream. Sure thing. Abraham, while we wait, mind helping me with something? What is it? Well, as you know, I recently went through my shedding period and, well, because of all the ruckus and excitement, I didn't get the chance to let my skin heal up. Okay, how am I to help with that? Follow me to the creek and I'll show you. Katie led me to the creek and wasted no time slithering her body into the water and rolling her tail around it to get all her scales nice and wet. Then she handed me a piece of clean cloth and allowed me to see her tail. So all you have to do is rub the cloth on my scales to get off any leftover dead skin. Seriously? You don't have to act so surprised, Abraham. This happens every year. But in the past, I'd get Tamil or Sarah to do this for me. Since both are occupied entertaining our guest, I'm asking you. Oh, okay. How does it... Don't be so nervous. Here, I'll make it easy for you. Sit down next to the creek. When I sat down, Katie uncoiled her body and allowed her tail to drape across my lap, getting my pants legs wet, but also allowing me to appreciate her glimmering scales. I did notice a few odd spots on the scales where dead skin still clung. I felt tempted to rip it off. Couldn't I? Can't we just take the skin off? Oh no, that's not a good idea. Why not? My new scales are really sensitive right after shedding, so it'll be kind of painful to just start ripping off skin. Plus, it hurt like hell. The plan is just lightly scrub off the skin gently with a clean rag. The skin is loose, so just a good scrub should get it off. Now I'll start near the torso, you work near the tip first, and we'll meet in the middle. Sure. And so I scrubbed. I ran the cloth up and down her scales, feeling and watching as small flakes of skin would catch the cloth and slip off the socks off of her foot. Every now and then I'd rub too hard and Katie would wince and yelp a bit, but for the most part it was going well. Thanks for helping me with this, by the way. You know, I've asked Asher before, but he always gets weirded out by it. He doesn't seem the type to be freaked out easy. Trust me, I have that effect on people, whether I like it or not. I slowed my scrubbing and glanced at Katie, who, though smiling, seemed a bit distant. I was kind of thinking I'd have that effect on you. Weirded out by you? Be honest, from the day you and I first saw each other, I tried to kill you. I hated your guts with a passion just because you were human and a man. Okay, fair enough. It wasn't always perfect, but look at where we are now. It's like you're an official member of our club. Katie, I think it might be hard to ask, but Abraham, just ask. Truth was, I didn't want to ask her this question, but it seemed been bugging for a while. She'd hinted at an answer to this question once before, and it felt like I dread knowing the truth, but it had to be known. If I was going to get any closer to Katie, to breach any more barriers left, I had to know. Why? Why did you hate men? Katie fell silent. There was an ominous new thickness to the air as I felt coldness rush through her demeanor. It's not something I want to bring up. Sorry, it was just... I only wanted... No, it's alright. Well, the truth is, Abraham, long before I came here, I was... A man I trusted attempted to rape me. My heart stopped in my chest and I felt my throat choke up as I realized just how much of a mistake it was to even ask something this horrible. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Katie. Relax, Abraham, you're not the one who did it. That said, though, after it happened, I found it hard to put my trust in any men. I thought that they'd break my heart again. Katie, nobody here would do that to you, least of all me. I know that now. At first I didn't, obviously, but you've changed a lot of the way I see things, Abraham, and ouch! I realized too late I'd rubbed too hard on her scales and hurt her. Ah, sorry, are you alright? It's not hurting still, is it? It's alright, but it's that. That's what changed everything. Hurting you? Caring. The two of us stared at each other a long time, and I found myself lost in her snake-like gaze. She slithered out of the creek, releasing her tail from my lap. She then wrapped her arms gently around me, coiling her tail once around me and tightening just enough for me to feel her embrace. Abraham, you're the nicest man I've ever met. You looked at us and saw people, not monsters. You saved us, saved me, and I can't thank you enough for that. Katie, you care about all of us. You really love us, so So I love you too. I smile slowly and wrap my arms around her as well, holding on to her warmly. I didn't know if she meant romantically in love with me, or just family love. But I didn't care right now. I wanted to hug her, to let her know that she had no reason to doubt what she was saying. I love you too. Thank you, Abraham, for all you've done for us. Great pick. Great picture. Great moment. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, hold on, guys. Just got a message. Okay, that is my brother. He's letting me know that he's done and he's ready to meet up. So we will wrap this up as well. So we will go ahead and save progress. Make sure that it is there. All right. And let's make sure that we can load it up. Yep, it's right there. Perfect. All right. So, guys, that was fun. It was really good to go walking down memory lane. I know that this wasn't exciting for a lot of you, and I am sorry. I'm hoping that I will finally have the PlayStation back tomorrow, so we should be able to start gaming again soon. But I do want to finish this up. Let me know in the comments whether or not you guys enjoyed this, if you enjoyed this story. Please be gentle. I wrote this a long time ago. I think I wrote this back in 2017 or 2016. It's an old story. But Monster Club was one of my favorites I ever worked on. And I love the characters in it. All of them are my babies. I love every single one of them. Katie, Calypso, Asher, Annie, Tamil, Michelle, Sarah, and Abraham. They're all fantastic characters. God, I love them to death. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching with me. It means the world. And hop out. And as always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.